into the college campus with dreams to excel, yet my heart was heavy, leaving my family behind. 4 years later, in 1993, when I graduated in civil engineering from the institute, I realized that I had an extended family spread all over the world in the Alumni Association. Such amazingly cordial is the Alumni Association of BE College, or BESU, or IIEST as we fondly call. I'm Kasturi Basu, and I'll be anchoring today's program. Today's evening has been planned in 4 sessions. We will start with a welcome session, followed by the business meet. We will have an hour of cultural program, which will follow next. The final session will be an interactive open house session. The event will culminate with a closing speech by the Secretary of the Association. Without much ado, let us start the inaugural session with the moment of silence and then go on to with the welcome addresses, if that is okay.
Yes, you go. Better go for that.
I think. So, before we start the address by the convener and our president, let us bow our head in silence for a moment as we honor and remember the alumni members and faculty members who have left us forever. With these few lines from Gitanjali, verse 93, let us remember the departed. I have got my leave. Bid me farewell, my brothers. I bow to you all and take my departure. Here I give back the keys of my door, and I give all claims to my house. I only ask for last kind words from you. We now call upon our convener of the association, Sri Shyama Prasad Datto. Sri Datto graduated in civil engineering in the year 1967 to speak about the event.
Is Professor Parthasarathi Chakraborty, Director IIST Shibpur, who is expected to join very shortly. Professor Arindam Bishwas, Dean Alumni Relations, Dean External Relations and Alumni Affairs, and other faculty members of the Institute, my respected seniors, and my dear alumni brothers, sisters, and friends. Nostalgic memory of our campus life binds all of us together with an invisible thread of friendship, brotherhood, and pride for our alma mater. We used to keep waiting for the yearly annual event each year. And earlier, the days of annual reunion used to be the same, more or less same each year. But gradually, it could not be organized at that period, and the days of annual reunion became a matter of uncertainty. Once Professor Ajay Rai, who was in chair at that time, he suggested that he would include this alumni reunion in the academic calendar of the institute. But for reasons, it could not be done. At that stage, our very beloved Chapan Saha, who has a lot of contribution for the alma mater and also GAABESU in particular, suggested that let us decide one day of the year as Alumni Day, and that would be organized by GAABESU. We all agreed and decided that last Sunday of the year would be the Alumni Day. It started in 2014. We organized 6 alumni days in the campus. And those are very memorable events. But last year, due to pandemic situation, we could not organize it in the campus. But we decided not to skip the event and chose to go for the virtual mode. Virtual mode was also very interesting. This year also, the situation of pandemic persisting, we have to opt for the virtual mode. This virtual mode lacks the warmth of our face-to-face contact in the campus after a long time, but we have seen, it has some advantages also. We could get participation worldwide. And this year, you all know, we had a very interesting quiz competition, and our team for organizing the quiz were very excellent, and the participants also enjoyed it very fully, and it was full of fun. Which has already been done, as it was done in the previous years. This year also, we are releasing our special issue of the alumni link. It should be released very shortly. And this alumni day cannot have, as Kosturi has already mentioned, without a cultural event. This cultural event will be very interesting, and I am sure all will enjoy the event. As we did in the last year, we had a special session in the business meet of a panel discussion on a very important subject of the present interest, that is challenges of engineering education in the virtual era. Panelists have been chosen, they are eminent experts in different fields. You will find it very interesting and meaningful. There will be, as is common for all our reunion, there will be open session also. And my request to all the participants to be very brief in the open session, so that we can accommodate as many speakers as possible within our very short span of time. As I mentioned, we had alumni meet in the campus. We are having alumni meet virtually, and my suggestion would be to have the alumni meet in hybrid mode in future. Thank you all. Hope you'll enjoy this event.
Thank you, Shri Shyama Prasad Datta. I think we have the Honorable Director of IEST with us. Is Tultul, can you confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is our honor to welcome Honorable Director, IIST Shibpur, Professor Parthu Sharathi Chakraborty. On behalf of Global Alumni Association of Bengal Engineering and Science University, we welcome you, Professor Chakraborty, to our 8th Alumni Day meet. We express a sincere gratitude that you have taken time out from your busy schedule and joined us in today's event. Welcome, Professor Chakraborty.
Good evening to all, and I think many of them who are from the other part of the globe, it may not be evening now, but I welcome all of you on behalf of the Institute also, and joining actually GAABESU to welcome you to this grand occasion. And as you know that the entire world is going through that pandemic situation, and we are still not out of danger. And because we were in the process of reopening the institution, we are thinking in that line, and we allowed our PhD students to come, and master students who are in the final year, second year master students, we have called them back. we have called the final year students, but again, there is a threat that the Omicron, it is coming in, the new variant is coming, and which is going to affect the country. Again, because western part of this world, you have seen that they are badly affected by this Omicron variant of COVID-19. So we are still in a dilemma that whether we'll be able to open the institution in a normal way, or we'll have to again pack up and we'll be again in the lockdown mode, and all this curriculum will be in the online mode, in the digital platform. So we are really, and last 1 year and 8-9 months have really had a very bad impact on this academic program. You know that COVID has affected all business, everything, all spheres of life, but academic, actually, we felt it in a very bad way, and suddenly we had to switch over to a new system. But the good part, only good part which is there, that we thought that there will be some problem in the placement of the students, but I'm happy to share with you, as per the feedback given by this placement cell, that this is the best placement last year we had for IIST Shivpur. A very good number of students have got really very good package CTC they have got. And as per Professor Manas Chanal, that this is the last several years, this is the best placement of the students. So one thing is clear, that even though COVID has affected life badly in many sectors, but the IT sector is one of the possible area where a lot of opportunities have been created by this deadly virus, right? Because of the new platform, new mode of education and healthcare, all these things are coming, and it has opened opportunities. So every cloud is a silver lining. That is proved again that it has created job opportunity, and it has forced us to think in a different way, think in out of the box thinking, that not a stereotype, find a solution, that we are never prepared for this kind of threat, but how to manage. And we have learned in the process a lot. All of you who are not very familiar with this digital platform has become many teachers who are not familiar with the digital platform. Each and every day we are making different methodologies of teaching, improving the teaching quality in the digital mode. So we are making all efforts. So that's the good part of it. And I think that the way the country has faced this situation, pandemic situation, is commendable. The kind of vaccination India has done, this vaccination program was very successful. India produce this vaccine in the country. That is also another good part of it, and that's the credit goes to all these scientists, engineers, researchers, doctors, medical professionals, so who have contributed a lot to this. And I think some way or the other, the alumni of our institution has also contributed a lot to the nation in this front also. So that's a good part, and we can now develop a kind of self-confidence that India probably can do and compete with all other countries, and at least take care of their own people. That's a good part of it. But we should not be satisfied with what we have done, because future is again not known to us. Last year, I remember a similar situation when we were in the celebration mode that probably this vaccine has come, so we are out of danger. But suddenly 2021, we found that the scenario was completely different, and suddenly the scarcity of oxygen, cylinder, etc. And we had a hospitalization problem was there. But somehow finally we could manage. And in the institute also we developed a center for taking care of these COVID people. And I'm thankful to the alumni for their generous support for developing this facility by contributing oxygen concentrator and Psychocan, which takes care of this COVID, this virus takes care of. And so this support we must, and GAABESU in particular has contributed a lot and supported the student during this period financially. That was the part which we must appreciate. that you have supported these students who are economically weak and has suffered a lot because of this COVID situation, and this financial support was very much needed because from government funding, as I've told you earlier also, it's not possible to support them. So that's a good part, and GAABESU is continuously interacting with this. But somewhere down the line, you have felt, and we also have felt that we need a stronger interaction, stronger coupling between the institute and GAABESU. And for this purpose, we created this alumni cell. And as I was listening to this introductory lecture, that said that this day can be announced, and actually, we wanted to celebrate one day as Alumni Convention Day, and which we decided for the institute will organize it for all alumni. And similarly, if GAABESU wants to announce some date, that can be taken into consideration, that we can announce and have a calendar where we can put it, your program, if the date is final. But the situation is such that every time we have to change the date, even convocation, etc. change. So I'll not make it long because a lot of other people must be waiting. But another query who have in mind, and I received several letters from different people regarding this NIRF ranking and recent NIRF ranking. I want to just clear the air that all of us must remember that when this NIRF ranking is announced, it's a report card of the institute, not an individual, right? So we must work together in a way that we can improve this NIRF ranking. And our committee has worked very hard, but in spite of that, there's a slight down which has been analyzed. And while analyzing this data, certain thing came into our notice, which is very, very strange, and I cannot in this platform, I cannot explain, but you must have been informed by the other members of the committee that what kind of manipulation, many places where it was done, but that's the bad part of it. And where we lost some points that we have, our team has also examined, and some feedback has been given by the committee. And I spoke to the member secretary, explaining it about the things that where the data is not given by many of the institute in a proper way, that correct data has not been given. It's not good thing. And he assured me for a meeting there in Delhi and discuss those issues. That's a separate part. But sometimes I feel that probably some of the institutions are taking help of some professionals. You know, there are a lot of professionals who help the institute to improve your perception and how to put your whatever data you have put in a better way to have an impact and make a change in your ranking, because some kind of professional expertise is needed. Only the team members may not be able, they can collect the data and send the data. But how to present it, what homework you should do for improving your perception about the institute, etc. So there are a lot of processes which are involved. So I think GAABESU or this alumni, they can come forward and help the institution in getting some professionals for guiding this committee who is looking after NIRF ranking, not only NIRF ranking, but QS ranking also. There are certain tricks which you will have to learn, the tricks of the game. Unless you learn those, probably just merely collecting the data and sending will not work, right? So this is one thing you can think about and come up with suggestion so that we can perform better, at least put the things in a better way. Sometimes you know that even if your research paper is very good, your presentation is very poor and not only presented, people do not get that, that what you are trying to tell. So that way, this thing we'll have to learn that how we can improve. And I believe GAABESU and alumni, they can help a lot in this regard. But nevertheless, the bottom line is that if you do not, just like sitting in the examination, if your preparation is not well, if you do not do well in the examination, your result is going to be bad. So that is, there's no denial about that fact. So research-wise, one good thing was that in NIRF ranking, we were one of the institute who could figure out in the list of research institutes, even though you know that IIST before conversion was not a research institute. Primarily, it was an engineering, undergraduate and postgraduate engineering. Undergraduate, more emphasis was there. So that way we got a place in first 50 itself shows that research activity is not that bad. Many good institutions didn't find a place out of this 50. So this is, but that is not something to rejoice in a way that it will undermine that we our slide down was there in that engineering ranking. We must take care of that. And I think with the support of all of you, we'll be able to improve the ranking, and we'll have to work out continuously work on that. And whatever suggestion you have, you can give us those suggestions. Those will be taken care of. And finally, I would like to thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to share a few of my thoughts with you. And I wish all of you stay safe and healthy. And because of this Omicron virus again, it's troubling us again. At the end, I would like to wish you all a prosperous and happy New Year 2022. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Chakraborty. Thank you so much for your enlightening words. Your presence reinstills in us the zeal to work selflessly for our alma mater even more. So, and it is really good to know that this college is doing so well, and the students of the college are getting such good placements in spite of the situation. We now call upon the president of the association, Srimati Anjuna Ganguly Roy, to say a few words on the event and welcome the house.
I'm audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Respected of business meet session, Professor Parthopratim Chattopadhyay, moderator of today's panel discussion, IIST deans and HODs, and family. On behalf of Executive Committee and the pleasure to welcome you all to this 8th Global Alumni Day today on 26th day of this. GAABESU has completed 16 years of its journey since its inception in June 10th, 2000, and solely to help our
There must be some technical problem from Srimati Anjuna Ganguly Roy's end. So we can wait for a few minutes. Meanwhile, I do see the Dean of International Relations and Alumni Affairs, Professor Arindam Biswas, is with us. We welcome you, Professor Biswas, to this occasion, to this event.
Am I in?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're very well audible.
Okay. We hope to build a community to help better utilize our skill set, to stay on top of the latest trends, keep a pulse on the job market, meet prospective mentors, partners, and clients, and gain access to necessary resources that will foster career development. A young member will use the collective expertise of the alumnus for advice and personal growth. Together, we turn GAABESU into a place where we can share ideas, discuss opportunities, and create network to manifest our full potential. We are what we are because many of you have partnered with IIST to make it happen. You come back to campus to interact with the students, and faculty. You volunteer your time, your talent, and provide internship, jobs, and career advice to current IIEST students. And you place IIEST as a high priority in your charitable investments. We are proud to celebrate the achievements of our students through scholarships and fellowship awards. We are dedicated to further globalizing our mission through a systematic and sustained engagement between the IIEST community and the world at large. Each year, as we welcome new students to IIEST, we are reminded of the great legacy left behind by our wonderful alumni. GAABESU will continue its mission to raise public awareness of the IIEST Alumni Association, to grow its membership base, to assist with development of fundraising opportunities, and to promote exciting activities and events. Joining the Alumni Association encourages continued success for our students and support for the college. We want to reach out and connect with you no matter wherever you are. Please continue to visit us on the website and social media for information on future alumni activities. On behalf of the alumni of IIEST Shibpur, I, as a president of GAABESU, would like to assure our institute authority of our continuous support to our beloved alma mater, be it improvement on ranking in national and international level, academic infrastructure development, image building as a research-intensive institute, giving a better living condition to students, et al. We recently handed over our proposal on improvement of NIRF ranking to the Board of Governors and expecting a positive outcome after BOG discusses it in its forthcoming meeting. Our Honorable Director of IIEST has already mentioned this. The road that lies ahead won't be easy. There will be obstacles and missed exits, potholes and roadblocks, but we are not alone. Together we engage ourselves, cherishing our eternal bond with our alma mater. Thank you and stay safe. Enjoy today's program.
Thank you, Mrs. Anjula Ganguly Roy. And we will now move on to the last part of the inaugural session, that is the launch of the alumni link. We would request Shri Manoj Kaur, Electronics and Telecommunication Engineer, an alumni member from the batch of 1980, to do the honors.
Yeah, good evening. This is Manoj Kaur, Electronics and Telecommunication 1980. Myself, along with Shandeep Chattopadhyay of Mechanical Engineering 98, taking this opportunity to launch this Alumni Day issue of Alumni Link. Apart from publishing articles in this issue, we have paid homage to 4 of our distinguished alumni by publishing excerpts from their books. They are no longer with us, but they have left a very strong footprint in their areas of expertise. They are renowned novelist Narayan Channal, river specialist Kopil Bhattacharya, Sharod Maestro Buddhadev Dasgupta, and a famous dramatist Badul Sarkar. Let me also mention about the youngest contributor of this issue of Alumni Link. She is Ishani Singh, a class 8 standard student and the daughter of Vinod Singh, our 99 batch of alumni from Mechanical Engineering. Please join me in wishing her all the success in life. We are sure that you will enjoy reading this issue of Alumni Link. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Manoj Kaur. We now come to the end of the welcome session. The next session is the business meet. The topic of today's business meet is challenges in engineering education in virtual era. The moderator for this event is Professor Partho Pratim Chattopadhyay. Professor Partho Pratim Chattopadhyay graduated in metallurgy in 1984, and he had done his post-graduation in the year 1989 from BE College itself. He did his PhD from IIT Kharagpur in the year 2000. Pardon me, yeah, he must have done it from BE College because it was 89. He worked in varied capabilities in academia and industry, notably served as the Dean of Faculty of Engineering for Bengal Engineering and Science University. Professor Chattopadhyay has supervised 19 doctoral scholars and published 179 papers in international journals. Since February 2015, Professor Chattopadhyay is serving as the Director of National Institute of Advanced Manufacturing Technology, erstwhile NIFFT at Ranchi. Professor Chattopadhyay has served Global Alumni Association of Bengal Engineering and Science University as member of the ad hoc committee from 2005 to 2007. He has been joint secretary in EC1 and vice president in EC7. I now hand over the session to Professor Chattopadhyay.
Thank you, Kasturi, for your kind introduction. We are already delayed by 20 minutes. So without getting into formal words, I'd like to extend my heartiest thanks to the members in the panel today. We have with us Professor Shorit Das, Institute Chair Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering of IIT Madras. We have with us Ms. Shukla Mistry, Executive Director, Indian Oil Corporation Limited and Refinery Head, Barauni Refinery. We have Professor Amitabh De, Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIT Bombay. We have Mr. Shouvik Sengupta, third year students in Department of Electrical Engineering of IST Shibpur. I will initiate with Mr. Shouvik Sengupta. Shouvik is a third year student in Department of Electrical Engineering of IIT Shibpur. Beside his academic pursuits, he is engaged in several other activities. To name a few, he is General Secretary of Art Club and Coordinator of Quiz Club of IST Shibpur. He is also the Cultural Secretary of Electrical Engineering Society. His major achievements include third position in fandom quiz held by Literacy Club, IIM Rohtak, and second position in business case study competition held by Climatrix Crackers. He is recipient of the distinction and Ankan Ratna Award in art. His hobbies include art and craft and amateur astronomy. Shouvik, please join us and present your views.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful introduction. Good evening to the Honorable President of GAABESU, Mrs. Anjana Ganguly Roy, the Honorable Director of IST Shibpur, Professor Parthasarathi Chakraborty. Good evening to the Secretary Convener of GAABESU and all the present alumni members of GAABESU. And good evening to all the esteemed panelists, respected guests, and my dear friends. So currently we are discussing the recent challenges faced by engineering students in this virtual era. And I would like to point out some issues from my point of view. Now, before diving into the issues, I would like to answer a basic question. Why did any of us choose engineering as a subject? The answer is, through engineering, we wanted to gain some real life skills and in the process also aid our personality development. Engineers are one of the most sought after people in all job sectors due to their problem solving skills, aptitude, and various soft skills which they gain during their course of study. Be it research, core, IT, or anything else, engineering was supposed to make us employable in any field of our choice. However, has this virtual mode helped us achieve that? Let us explore it in some detail. One of the main things which online education has bereft us of is the lack of industry interaction. In the present scenario, industry-related skills are as much as important as theoretical concepts. However, the fact that students can't even access the labs in college means, for example, say that a student like me of electrical engineering might finish one of my core subjects, say electrical machines, without having been able to see a real machine even for once. Not being able to attend any seminar or even get hands-on training at some facility just adds to the wounds. But engineering isn't just about what happens in the classroom. It's also about the interactions that take place outside the classroom. Be it some off-hour interaction with some professor on some interesting topic or a simple peer discussion in the hostels. All of it is important for the proper making of an engineer. The absence of any extracurricular activities like clubs or fests, which are the potter's wheel for the development of soft skills like time management, teamwork, public speaking, among many, take away many necessary attributes of a good employee. As such, an engineer is being produced who neither have any practical experience nor has the qualities of a good employee. This makes the job market more uncertain than it already is. However, if we assume for a while that industries will become lenient and pay importance only to online education, the problem of logistics framework strikes in. As per a survey, internet penetration remains at a mere 40% in India, with Ookla ranking the internet speed as 68 globally. The recent fact that the rate of internet services is being continuously increased by all operators doesn't add any ease to the already present troubles. Further, 40% of rural India still doesn't have any electricity, and most urban areas have frequent power cuts. States like Punjab or even a national capital of Delhi were power stricken just a while ago. Even to cite a personal example, I myself didn't have any electricity for the whole day today. And my internet connection is also very weak. Like I don't have any alternative to my Wi-Fi. And that is all while staying in Durgapur, which is the third largest city of West Bengal and a very big city at that. So we can all imagine that what might be happening in other small cities. And after all this, if we come to the teaching side, most professors struggle to explain concepts in the online mode due to a lack of proper tool and logistics. After all, one cannot replace a blackboard and chalk overnight. So if we sum it all up, a student is not sure of internet access. If one manages, then it's not sure the connectivity would be fast and stable and affordable. And even if the connectivity challenges are overcome, a student might be exposed to a class where he feels bored and might not understand anything. And at that, no one is at fault, but the present situation we are in. Then again, we can come to the medical concerns of online education. Like a typical class day is of around 8 hours, where the student has to continuously sit in front of a laptop or device. He cannot interact with any friends other than over some WhatsApp chat or a meet. Neither can you do anything by going outside the house. Now, surveys have shown that nearly 40% of present students suffer from some kind of depression, insomnia, or other such mental health issues. The depression is so high that in the recent news we have seen that students just say this on the Google Meet or any conference platform. They are in front of the teachers. There is a fear of that the teacher might do anything to them is not even greater than the depression they're going through. Further, if you come to the physical aspect, recently a whole new term called Zoom fatigue has been coined, which basically means burnout or tiredness due to prolonged exposure to video conferencing platforms. Other than these common effects like eye pain, then loss of mobility due to the long sitting hours, backaches, and other such physical problems are occurring students of all standards. And in a field such as engineering, where a large part of the job includes field work and use of eyesight, deterioration in any of these can adversely affect one's careers, no matter how academically pronounced one might be. Now, I listed many points, but does this mean that virtual education or the online platforms like NPTEL, Unacademy, etc., should all be removed? Well, the answer is no. Online platforms are indeed helpful in a way, but in developing supporting skills and capabilities for better employability. For example, like a student of electrical engineering, again like me, can learn MATLAB online, which is a very important tool in our field, but is not covered in our curriculum. One may also navigate through various reference resources on his core subjects. The online platform is also helpful for learning some extracurricular hobbies in the free time and for also some other activities. Now, returning to the question we asked earlier, that whether the online education has any disadvantage or advantages. So basically, engineering means to invent something new using the present knowledge. It includes discussion, theorizing, experimentation, observation, and improvement. As such, in a field where things are to be done with tools in hand, it's not at all feasible to teach students behind a single mobile screen. To conclude that difference between online education and the present of traditional offline education, I'll just give an example. A person might take some protein supplements to gather up some few deficiencies. However, it can never replace the real food he is eating. Similarly, online education can be a supplement to the offline education, but it can never replace the offline class education which engineering people have. Virtual and similar, and just as a person cannot live on supplements, in a core field like engineering, which requires tools to be in hand and requires practical experience, cannot survive just on online education alone. With this, I'd like to conclude my speech. Thank you everyone for such a patient listening, and also a big thanks to GAABESU for giving me this opportunity. Thank you everyone.
আনমিউট করতে হবে।
Professor Chattopadhyay.
Yeah. Extremely sorry. Thanks, Shovik, for sharing with us the challenges faced by the engineering students and your views as a student in dealing with these challenges. I'm sure that your views will be important inputs for the eminent panelists we are going to listen to. Now, I will invite our next panelist, Ms. Shukla Mistry. Ms. Mistry, I believe you are online?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
I'm audible?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so good evening to everyone.
Right. Ms. Mistry is currently Executive Director of Indian Oil Corporation Limited and Refinery Head at Barauni Refinery since 2019. After our successful tenure as head of Digboy Refinery. She has also worked in deputation with Qatar Petroleum at South Korea and then at Qatar for their LAB project for 2 years. Now we are all proud to know that recently she has been selected by PESB for the Director, Indian Oil Corporation. Ms. Mistry obtained Bachelor of Engineering, Metallurgy from Bengal Engineering College, Shibpur in 1985, and subsequently she obtained Advanced Diploma in Operation Management from ICFAI. Her career records the excellence in leadership in execution of projects of various sizes, ranging from 50 crore to 4,000 crore, from conventional to EPCC. Her illustrious profile is decorated with several prestigious awards and accolades. To mention a few, ET Prime Women Leadership Award in the category of Manufacturing and Operation for the year 2021, Scope Outstanding Women Engineer for the year of 2016-17, Petrotech Ujeshini Award in 2016, and many more. She has been personified as she energy in the business world for her leadership as the first woman in transforming the energy sector of our country. To note that Ms. Mistry is also a popular badminton player and an ardent sport person. Ms. Mistry, please.
Yeah, first of all, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Good evening to everyone. My senior alumni, Director IIST, Mr. Parthasarathi Chakraborty, and all the dignitaries for today's program, and all my alumni brothers who are there today connected with the web. Good evening to all of you. First of all, I wish happy Alumni Day 2021 to all of you. At the outset, I thank Mrs. Anjana Ganguly Roy, President of Global Alumni Association, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to connect with my alma mater through this association and occasion. I'm also delighted that that incredible job is being carried out by the association in doing with a vision to foster and legacy and branding of erstwhile Bengal Engineering College. Well, I completed my engineering in 1985. In fact, this initiative of GAABESU has definitely is going to do a lot of things in the academic pursuit of the institute with financial and knowledge resources. I'm sure this initiative must be helping the student by learning through rich experience sharing. Today's discussion on the topics is present challenges in engineering education in virtual era is truly an area of challenge. The world as you see today is completely different than what we have seen during our college life. The challenges where we faced during our early days may sound to us now as fables. I remember my early days as a young girl coming from a very humble family from the remote village of Sundarban. The difficulty, the scarcity, the darkness were not very encouraging. However, with our grit and guidance, we reached to this stage. And when I joined Indian Oil way back in 1986, I thought this is my greatest opportunity as a woman to break all silos and showcase that women are capable and strong. My journey from being a metallurgical engineer to an inspection engineer, then project manager, and then to head to refineries of Indian Oil Corporation Limited has been enthralling. Going back to today's discussion is the challenge into the era of virtual classes and all. The challenges of the young generation has to face today are very different than ours. We never thought that we'll move outside our homes wearing masks, refrain from meeting each other, hugging each other, shaking each other, even getting closer to the person. COVID-19 has changed the global arena of working and operating. The pace at which technology developed and all of us have adopted it as a part of our daily lives is incredible. It has been faster by a decade at least. We have entered into the virtual era. The era which was there in time is sci-fi movies or fiction stories. The major loss suffered by the section across the global during these last 1.5 years have been the students. Suddenly, physical classes were replaced with online classes, no test, and the session is completed by exams in the multiple choice MR sheets. While this transformation brings an additional responsibility to faculties, students, and the parents. There is a larger responsibility on each one of us because engineers are the builders of the nation. We operate the core sectors of the country. The nation trusts us, the countrymen trust us. We need credible engineers, no matter whether you opt for virtual education system or physical one. The world as such currently is facing tremendous complex challenges, including environment norms, global warming, zero emissions, and changing energy scenario. And I'm facing the most because I'm working in energy industry. Our existence depends on generating skilled engineers who can work and create innovative solutions for the multi-dimensional global challenges as we are moving towards Industry 4.0. Now, the engineers to know how to apply scientific and mathematical concept for evolving solution for technological problems. To fulfill their educational objective, engineers need to pass the skill of thinking, performing, or using things in a smart and innovative way to arrive at a better solution of the problems. Under this COVID-19 pandemic, 3 consecutive batches of the student, even in the colleges of various kind, professional or schools, whatever, have been trained online without practical classes, project, industrial training, and many others beyond the classroom activities. In engineering education, classroom lectures and the practical training are intertwined to inculcate the ingenuity potential which make the students ready for the job. So it is undeniable that these engineering graduates will continue as underrepresented as an employable engineer. Also, engineers to challenge the industry 4.0 from the very inceptions of their career. So under this situation, what is to be done? In my point of view, when I'm giving these opportunities, I would say this situation is not only vulnerable from their career point of view, but a major concern for the industrial leadership for fulfilling the dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat in the era of fourth revolution. Hence, certainly these graduates need some kind of well-planned training packages for stimulating their ingenuity and the leadership quality in line with the emerging scenario. This is also a challenge for the much awaited convergence of industrial, institutional, and government pursuits in engineering education over the spectrum ranging from polytechnic to doctoral research. Perhaps this issue may be taken up under the ambit of NEP 2020. However, when I am given this opportunity, I would like to share one possibility that comes in my mind for consideration of the stakeholder. It may be prudent that top 30 or 50 institutes in NIRF ranking may consider starting a specially designed MTech programs jointly with the industries. The program would focus on practical courses, projects, critical thinking, analytics, etc. And the students are to acquire a particular credit score within a span of say 2 to 3 years. So instead of continuous semesters, this course may allow discontinuity in between the semesters, credit transfer, and taking up the project work at industries where they are employed. And also it comes in mind that technology has developed everywhere across the world. And we can utilize the augmented reality and virtual reality either at the home or the colleges, which will be able to percolate the practical experiences despite you are at the home or at the colleges. I request the organizers to take proper initiative to draw the interest of the stakeholders towards these challenges, and let us take this initiative unitedly. I will urge not to let this serious crisis to go to waste. In other words, let us do something which we have never done earlier. I wish each one of you more power for building a brighter, sustainable future for yourself and for the coming generations. I once again thank Global Alumni Association for having me here on this forum. Wish all of you Happy New Year 2022. Thank you and all the very best. Take care, be blessed, and be safe. Thank you very much.
Professor Chattopadhyay, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, I mean, Many thanks, Ms. Mistry, for emphasizing on the impact of virtual education on the employability of the engineering graduates. You have also proposed the possible approach to augment the employability of the graduates, on which I believe the organizers and the stakeholders will focus on seriously. Now I will invite Professor Amitabh De, who is one among the most popular teacher and researcher in academic community of our country. Professor Amitabh De completed his Bachelor in Engineering from Indian Institute of Engineering, Science and Technology, formerly known as BE College, and MTech and PhD degrees from Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, respectively in 1989, 1991, and 1996. Later, he has spent 2 years at the Institute of Joining and Coating Technology, Technical University, Berlin, Germany, under the DAD Fellowship. He joined Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay as assistant professor in May 1998 and continued his career there to become associate professor and professor respectively in 2005 and 2009. His research area includes joining science and technology, additive manufacturing, numerical process modeling. He has served in several departmental and institute level undergraduate and postgraduate committees and as a dean academic program from March 2017 to June 2021 at IIT Bombay. He has been regularly serving as the principal reviewer, associated editor, and editor for a few key journals in the broad area of joining and metal additive manufacturing. Keeping his experience in teaching and academic administration in view, I'd like to request Professor De to illuminate us with his views on the possible gaps in the graduate outcome for engineering students taught online during the pandemic, and what kind of transformation in teaching learning may help in bridging the gap. Professor De, please. I believe you are online.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Am I audible clearly?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So thank you, Partha, very much. I first thank also the GAABESU for welcoming me in this or inviting me in this particular program. With a due respect to Honorable Director, IIST, erstwhile BE College, Institute functionaries and faculty members, my seniors and juniors who are present now. It's very interesting to listen to views from a student, current student, as well as one of our very influential alumni, I must say. And it's a good learning for me. I think it would be very nice for me to discuss rather based on what we have learned, I have learned in my position as an academic administrator, as well as a faculty member during the last 1.5 years. I would say a little more than that. So I think it would be perhaps a little easier for many of us to have this discussion if I can share my screen quickly for 2 slides I have made. I hope it is possible. Let me try.
Shreyan, I believe
I think
you can permit the screen sharing. Shreyan.
Yes, I'm just trying to give.
Yeah, I think I have been allowed already.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, can you see the screen?
Yeah, Amitabh.
Okay. So I would like to come to the point straight, and especially after listening to a very nice and critical review by Shobhit. It's very nice to hear from the other side. So these are few points I wanted to bring forward to this panel, and perhaps it can generate some discussions and we can think of some way out. If you look at overall, engineering educations are typically content centered, design oriented, and aimed at instilling critical thinking and problem solving skills. Over and above that, if you look at, I mean, in a generic 4-year structure of a program, hands-on training to work with equipments, instruments, materials in a controlled laboratory setting has always been deemed to be indispensable. And that's how it has been built, the overall curriculum. This sudden conversion of engineering courses from face-to-face to online format has become, I mean, we are facing a lot of challenge, but if you look at why it is so challenging, I mean, if you look at perhaps these 4 points are becoming more and more prevalent, we do not have very well informed online learning pedagogy and instructional tools. We are just trying to learn every day new things. Students by default, they prefer to learn and believe in deeper understanding will develop only in face-to-face mode. More importantly, from the student point of view, it may not be so important from our point of view. I can still remember my student days, of course. It is very difficult to design a fair, equitable, and rigorous assessment scheme which would sort of, satisfy a common batch of students. And of course, what Shobhit has nicely mentioned, that we still have want of reliable and robust infrastructure for both students as well as faculty members. It's I must tell the students Shobhit that it's the same thing for the faculty members. I mean, there is no guarantee that there won't be any power fluctuation when I am teaching or somebody else is teaching from a different corner, or it may be from the campus itself. So the abrupt transition from this face-to-face to online instruction due to COVID has actually posed unprecedented situation. I mean, it has never been thought of, it has never been experienced. There are many things which we have experienced at least a little bit. In our college language, perhaps we say we have been booted, we have been vaccinated in some way or the other. But this is something we have never seen, what can be done. So at least what we have learned today, that any viable modes or routes that can be working good now or maybe post-pandemic must satisfy 5 key aspects: learning effectiveness, student satisfaction, faculty satisfaction, access, scale, to what scale it can be mapped, and cost, how much cost is involved. These 5 key things are very, very important for any new development that we would like to take, or any viable routes that we want to take for online education, to whatever extent it would remain, even I do not know. To make it sustainable, as my previous panelist has said, in whatever way it can be, at least in the current situation, I have tried to list down a few points. These are based on primarily my understanding. I mean, there are some takeaways for everybody. Everybody has to take part into it. For administration, very important is allocation of budgets for creating infrastructure, hardware, and software. Organize workshop involving faculty members and other stakeholders. Develop and organize a systematic repository of resources. Some faculty member develop a good course that must be available somehow so that somebody else can make use of it. Encourage culture of faculty advisors and expand that as much as possible. Become patient listeners to the faculty members as well as the students. Administration must listen. There is no other way out. Faculty advisors can help a lot to bring, talk, interact with the students even in online mode, to make them confident that they are part of the college campus, they are part of the college society, they are part of this, the overall this group. For faculty members, they must utilize institutional support and repository system very effectively, develop lectures in short segments with more encouragement to discussions, providing students a clear roadmap and instruction, and review the same regularly. Discuss with the students, how is it going, just the way it happens in face-to-face. Invent ways of evaluation in consultation with the stakeholders, in consultation with the students, faculty members. In an online mode, the situation has changed. We cannot just take a decision of a type of exam and we can just become very, strong on that. It has to be based on what students are also feeling. What is their opinion on that? Put on efforts to develop home lab kits. So we cannot, I agree completely to my both the previous panelists, we cannot completely let go the laboratory. There has to be something. I'm sure in IIT Bombay, for example, we have developed many different kind of ways to sort of carry out certain experiments. For students, utilize and ask for institutional support whenever needed. They should ask. They must ask for support. Ask queries to faculty members and administrations of the institution. It's also not correct on their behalf to do some emailing and attending classes. It's not correct. It's as simple as that. So they have to ask queries, they have to attend classes in a much more in an attentive manner. Accept, move on, suggest improvements, never give up. It is their work that they must understand. I would like to stop here and would be happy to answer any questions during the discussion more. Thank you very much. Can I answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Amitabh. Amitabh is 89 batch, junior to me, and I am always in touch with Amitabh for different reasons. Yeah. So Amitabh has nicely elaborated various measures, thoughts which can be taken up at the institution level, at the level of faculty members, and also for the students. I believe that will be good input for the stakeholders to plan for the future. Now I'm delighted to invite Professor Shorit Kumar Dash as the last speaker in the panel. Professor Dash has pursued an illustrious career as a teacher, researcher, and administrator. Professor Dash presently is an institute professor at IST Madras. He served as the director of IIT Rupert from 2015 to 2021. And he also served as the Dean of Academic Research from 2012 to 2015. Professor Dash has received his bachelor and master degree from Jadavpur University and PhD degree from Shambalpur University in 1994 and worked as postdoctoral fellow at University of BW Hamburg, Germany before joining IIT Madras in 1995. He has received a number of awards and recently recognized as a topmost ranked researcher in mechanical engineering in India by Stanford University. He also received India Citation Award 2012, conferred by Thomson Reuters. He was awarded the Peabody Visiting Chair Professorship of Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Recently, he has been awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award of IIT Madras. He is also an elected fellow of National Academy of Science, India, and Indian National Academy of Engineering. His research interests include nanofluid, nanobiotechnology, multiphase flow in microsystems, thermal hydraulics in nuclear and fuel cell systems, heat exchangers, etc. He has authored more than 250 journal and 100 conference publications and is the highest cited mechanical engineer in the country. As a last panelist, we look forward to his assessment on the efficacy of online learning methods put forward at present for engineering education. Professor Dash, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. And respected President of the Alumni Association, Director of IIEST, and of course Partha, because I always say that we the academicians are something like mafias. We have our friends everywhere who keep on saying that we are great. So as they say great, everybody start believing that they are great. And the worst part is you also start believing that you are great. So that's exactly what Partha has done just now. But I will start my discussion with another very interesting thing. You have seen, I am not from BE College. I am from Jadavpur. And there is a myth everywhere, particularly in the academic world, that, you know, BE College and Jadavpur do not go well together. Now, I have not seen anything which is further from truth than this. In fact, everywhere where the BE College and Jadavpur people work together, they have a very, very healthy respect for each other. The reason being that they bring different perspectives. Jadavpur people are a little bit, you know, happy and a little bit occupied with many things. Sometimes I would say too many things. And BE College people, I have found, has been very focused, although they also venture into various things. For example, Professor Gautam Biswas, former director of IIT Guwahati, or Professor Indranil Manna, of former director of IIT Kanpur, has been my very good friends, and I have found them, you know, as BE College characteristics, very, very focused people, very deep into their subject. So they bring different perspectives, and I would like to bring the Jadavpur perspective probably of this. Now, the thing is that, you know, a very great management guru from Harvard died last year. His name is Clayton Christensen. He brought the theory of disruptive innovation. He said, you know, everywhere in the industry, the innovations comes from the bottom by an unknown player, and they start you know, removing the higher players slowly and finally overthrow them. For example, an unknown company called Sony came and started introducing $5 radios, and finally they overthrew General Electric. And this is the story of Toyota overthrowing Ford Motors or General Motors and so on. But Clayton has a theory, the same theory for learning also, teaching also. He said that too long, this model of captive students is there in the university system, probably 500 years, from Cambridge, Oxford, etc. You know, truly speaking, thousands of years if you can consider Nalanda, etc. Now, this, according to him, in the new learning system, it will be like you do not read and stay in one place. You pick up credits from different places, different universities in future. And maybe then you say, well, I think I am ready for a degree. Ask the 3 institutions or 5 institutions to give me a degree. Now, this can be the learning model for future. You may listen to Clayton's YouTube lecture in which he has given it. Now, that looks very interesting. But then what I have found that people have started putting that model as the online learning model. Now, here is a problem. As a model of collecting credits, at a model of learning from different places, philosophically is very progressive idea. But if you convert that of a model which will be devoid of experience, because very easily you can connect online with various institutions, various places, etc., trying to replace Clayton Christensen's model by an online model, you will be in a soup. And that's what is happening in many cases here. And I'll be talking about that for the next 5-6 minutes. The first thing that I would like to tell, let us identify what online teaching can do and what it cannot do. What it can do, the greatest thing it can do is something which is emerging, something for which standard texts are not available. Online learning can do wonders. For example, AI, artificial intelligence. For example, quantum computing. For example, net zero cities. For example, renewable energies. For example, net zero buildings. If you want to know the things which are still emerging, where standard texts are not available, the best way is to take an online course, because it will be concise. It will give you initial ideas. You, after listening to online courses, you will come to know what you have to read. What is the place where you have to concentrate? So in that sense, online learning is very good for these kinds of ideas. The second thing is, there are areas in which the information is very, very large. For example, cultural diversity, government policies. So these are oceans. So where to start and where to end, people do not know. So a short online course or online lecture, couple of lectures, can give you an idea where to start, where to go, how to do it. It's very good for that kind of a thing. The third one is a gap in knowledge. See, a person may be knowing the whole thing, but feels that I'm not so confident in one part of it. It happened to me. See, when I was in research of, specific thermal systems, I felt my fluid mechanics is good, but not up to the mark. I went to some lectures of a very reputed person from Stanford University's web lectures, took the 30 lectures, and that helped me immensely. So it can happen to professional, it can happen to even academicians or researchers. So it can fill up the gaps. And finally, the most important thing that you can do by online thing is inspiring people by the lectures of the leaders. And that has become very, very easy today. Previously, getting a busy person from country itself was difficult for convocation. As a director of IIT Ropar, I had a lot of problem in getting good people. But now Nobel laureates are available because everything is online. You are not to spend time on traveling, staying, and all that. What it requires is finally half an hour, 1 hour, 45 minutes. So everybody is available. So you can get great people, you can get leaders of industry, you can get leaders of academics and research, you can get Nobel laureates, you can get company CEOs, you can get Pawan Goenka to speak on auto industry. You can get Ratan Tata to speak on entrepreneurship. So this is the other advantage of online education. You can get the best. But what the online education cannot do? Firstly, as a teacher, the concept-based subjects, which creates the base of a student, you cannot impart properly in online courses. This is my experience. This is the experience of many of my colleagues. Subjects like thermodynamics, subjects like mechanics, subjects like electromagnetics, subjects like algorithms, you cannot teach online. Why? Because you need to get instant feedback. It's not only the first bench students. What is the middle bench student or the last bench student doing? Is anything entering into his ears or in his brain? Now, unless and until you get that feedback, your teaching will become only at one level which you do not know. Whether a particular thing you have to repeat or not, you do not know, because you are not able to see, you are not able to look to the eyes of the students in most of the cases. And so concept-based subject is a casualty. They are very, very bad in teaching in online education. Hands-on experience, everybody understands that, practicals and all that. But in practical also, it is not the skill which is the toll of the online system. It's the other thing, the power of observation. It's one of the major things of in-hand experiences, and which is a big toll when you take online education. The power of observation of a physical system cannot be same as the power of observation through a mentored system. Because when we show, suppose we have got virtual experiment, even in virtual experiments, we show the best. But what a person needs to see is the worst also. And that is never shown. So the observational power. But I think the main casualty are not these. The main casualty are another two things. First, the approach of solving a problem. Now, this does not come online. What do you mean by approach of solving a problem? You see, if you look at the Indian knowledge, ancient knowledge, Vedas and Upanishads, to explain them, there were Sankhya, Yoga, Advaita Vedanta. There are many approaches to go to the same. Similarly, in the scientific world, to get to a problem, you can get into numerically, analytically, experimentally, a mixture of that. Various schools of thoughts are there. Even in physics, there is a school of string theory, which is completely drubbed by another set of people. So these schools will never be generated online. It requires physical interaction. It requires, exchange of ideas, even silent thinking of people together. Now, this is something which it cannot give, the online teaching cannot give. And what is done in online, instead of an excellent idea, you try to show more. Because you see, I have seen many people, instead of 20 slides in 20 minutes, bring 70 slides. Because they think by showing more, they can make it much more clear, which is not true. Quantity can never replace quality. You see, you hear in television nowadays these top, our heroes advertisement, 2 teachers, double advantage. What we need is not 2 teachers. What we need is 1 good teacher. And this is what one has to understand. Online education in a large extent is trying to replace quality by quantity, which cannot be done. And the final thing, what about character? There is a saying that students do not remember what you teach. They remember what you are. And this is very true for a teacher. It's teacher's attitude, teacher's approach that always influences the student. And those attitudes and influence doesn't come within the classroom alone. It comes outside the classroom. It comes in informal interaction. It cannot be done with a camera on your face. You can call a student to your chamber and talk to him or her about his or her problems and try to understand. By that, not only the student learns, the teacher learns. And that process will be missing. The building of character of not only the student, the building of character of the teacher is also inhibited by online education. And hence, I would say online education is a good tool. Let's use it. And when there are no other alternatives like pandemic, yes, use it extensively, but never get mesmerized by that. It cannot replace the real learning, which has to be from man to man, from human being to human being, and not only from human being to human being, from nature to human being. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Dash. Thank you, Shorit, for a very illuminating lecture. In your lecture, there is a note of logical convergence between online and offline for the best teaching methodology. We had perspective from different angles, from a student, from industry, from a teacher, and from someone who had been best teacher, best researcher, and best administrator. The speakers have provided very thoughtful insight on the key issues, which will provide effective guidance on the assessment of merits of offline and online teaching learning method, not only in dealing with crises like pandemic, but also to make the current practice more flexible without any compromise with the capability and ingenuity of the engineering graduates. I take this opportunity on behalf of the organizers to convey most sincere thanks to all the panelists for finding their time to be present in this panel and providing their views on the issues which is call of the time. Thank you very much. I believe the panel discussion has been completed within the given schedule of 45 minutes. Now I will hand over to Kosturi. Kosturi, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your for the detailed discussion, and thanks to all the esteemed panelists, the esteemed guests today who gave their insights into the very large challenge that we are facing nowadays. So now we move on from the business meet to the cultural program. And ladies and gentlemen, in this hour of musical extravaganza, the participants for today's evening are the present and past students of IIEST or GAABESU, or B College as we fondly remember. The theme for today's evening program is Songs of Your Time in College. The program has been conceptualized by Shri Indranil Sen, the cultural convener of the association and architect from the batch of 1980. The technical support in playing the videos today will be done by Shreyan Nandi. Today's cultural program has been powered by Babtech. So sit back and relax as you travel a musical journey starting from late 1950s to the present day. We are delighted to have our first performer, who is a civil engineer from the batch of 1967 and an extremely talented guitarist and a harmonica player, Shri Sanjato Mitra Basu. Guess where he resides now? Yes, we are happy to have him join from Micronesia. Micronesia, as I Googled to find out that it is one of the 600 islands, the Truk state where he resides is one of the 600 islands in the Pacific Ocean. We will listen to two very popular evergreen musical numbers from the film Musafir, sung and enacted on screen by Kishore Kumar. The song Munna Bara Pyara, Mammi Ka Dulara will be followed by a very well-known song sung by Hemanta Mukherjee, written and composed by Sholil Chaudhary. The song is, well, let's see who can guess the song first and write it in the chat box. So tap your feet to two mesmerizing musical numbers by Shri Sanjato Mitra Basu. And I request Shreyan to do the honors to help us. What an amazing performance it was. Just delightful. Shanjata Mitradas set the right mood for this 1 hour of program. And why not? Shanjata Mitrada had formed the first B college band. The band used to practice in the Bhuture room in the top floor of the civil engineering department. He has been the lead guitarist in several renowned bands worldwide and has played in All India Radio and many TV shows. Before I introduce the next singer, let me tell you an interesting story about him. This song, Tum Bhi Chalo, Hum Bhi Chale, Chalti Rahi Zindagi, from the film Zameer, was his favorite song, and he wanted to sing the song for the freshers' welcome in his first year. The seniors and organizers ragged him and rejected every song he suggested. They finally agreed when he mentioned the song Deewana Hoon Pyar Ka, this song. His performance was a magical hit instantly, and he was nicknamed Deewana. I'm sure his seniors and his friends have recognized him, but for others, he's our cultural convener, Shri Indra Singh, fondly nicknamed Deewana by his seniors. So let us listen to the magical voice again. After the early 60s, let us hear this popular number from mid-70s from Indra Singh.
तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे जिंदगी तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे जिंदगी ना ज़मीं मंजिल ना आसमां जिंदगी है जिंदगी तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे जिंदगी पीछे देखे ना कभी मुड़ के राहों में हो झूमे मेरा दिल तुम्हें लेके बाहों में हो धड़कनों की जुबान नित कहे दास्तां प्यार की झिलमिल छाँव में पलती रहे जिंदगी तुम भी चलो हम भी चले चलती रहे जिंदगी बहते चले हम मस्ती के धारों में हो गूंजे यही धुन सदा दिल के तारों में हो अब रुके ना कहीं प्यार का कारवां, नित नए रुत के रंग में ढलती रहे जिंदगी। तुम भी चलो हम भी चले, चलती रहे जिंदगी। ना ज़मी मंजिल ना आसमां, जिंदगी है जिंदगी। तुम भी चलो हम भी चले, चलती रहे जिंदगी।
Thank you, Indranilda. Thank you. That was a mesmerizing performance. And thank you for sharing your nickname with us, College Daknam. Before we listen to the next song, let me share a poem written by Ritobruta Ghosh, architect from the batch of 1985, titled Daknam. By the way, we have nicknames of some of the performers with us, and we'll be sharing as we go through the program. This is a poem on Daknam given to friends and by the seniors, our seniors from this B college, written by Ritobruta Ghosh, 1985 architecture. কত সব ডাকনাম ছিল বিগ কলেজে, অনেকেরই ডাকনাম ঢুকে গেছে মগজে। ভালো নাম অনেকেরই মনে নেই বিলকুল, ভালো নাম বলো যদি পেহচানে হবে ভুল। সবকটি হোস্টেলে কিছু নাম মিলবেই, আর কিছু বেমিসাল নাম পাবে জুৎসই। মগা লগা গাজু মধু এই নামগুলো সাধারণ, এইগুলো দেওয়া হতো নামে নেই ব্যাকরণ। আর কিছু ডাকনাম লাজবাব অদ্ভুত, কিছু নাম অশ্লীল, কিছু বুঝি কিম্ভূত। কারো বাবা হোস্টেলে এসে পড়ে ফ্যাসাদে, চিনল না ছেলে কি তার ভালো নামেতে। শেষমেশ বাবা হেসে বলে তার ডাকনাম, হাঁপ ছেড়ে বাঁচি মোরা, ধরে যেন আসে প্রাণ। একবার মনে আছে বারবার ডাকে স্যার, ক্লাসরুমে নাম ধরে হুঁশ নেই ছেলেটার। ডাকনামে ডাকি তারে, শুনে বলে আমাকে। আমি ভাবি এত চেনা নামে ডাকে কে কাকে। বন্ধুকে ফোন করি, ধরে বুঝি বউ তার। কাকে চাই বলে যেই, বলি রং নাম্বার। ভুলে গেছি একদম ভালো নাম সে ব্যাটার, কোনো মতে চেপে যাই সেই ডাকনাম তার। ডাকনাম কাহিনীর স্রোত স্মৃতির সাগরে, ভালোবাসা পরশের নাম ভুলি কি করে। রয়ে গেল ভালো নাম কলেজের পাতাতে, সাথীদের রাখা নাম হৃদয়েরই পাতাতে। Yes, Daknam at college remains etched in everyone's mind. In fact, we have Daknam of some of our performers, as I told you today, and now we go from mid-70s to late 70s. And let us listen to a wonderful composition by R.D. Burman in Rag Darbari Kanara from the film Mukti. From the batch of 1981 Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, we have Dhiraj Bhomik performing this song for us today, and Shriyan will be playing it.
सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती, सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती। तुम्हारे प्यार की बातें हमें सोने नहीं देती, सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती। तुम्हारी रेशमी जुल्फों भीगते थे पुरानी वो मुलाकातें हमें सोने नहीं देती। तुम्हारे प्यार की बातें हमें सोने नहीं देती। सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती। कहीं ऐसा न हो लग जाए दिल में आग पानी से। कहीं ऐसा न हो लग जाए दिल में आग पानी से। बदल ले रास्ता अपना घटाए मेहरबानी से कि यादों की बरसातें हमें सोने नहीं देती। तुम्हारे प्यार की बातें हमें सोने नहीं देती। सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती।
Thank you, Dhirajda. That was such a wonderful performance. Now let me share with you an interesting information about Dhirajda. He had received the Best Bowler Award and used to be the opening bowler for college cricket team. We move on to our next performer today. He is from the same batch as Dhirajda. 1981, Shri Nikhil Ranjan Chatterjee, a civil engineer and a wonderful singer. He has sent a song that was picturized in the movie Dui Purush, originally sung by Manna De and penned by Pulak Bandyopadhyay. Here is Behag Jodi Na Hoy Raji, Basan Jodi Na Ashe. Ei ashore imon tumi thako bondhu amar pashe.
বেহাগ যদি না হয় রাজি, বসন্ত যদি না আসে, এই আসরে ইমান তুমি থাকো বন্ধু আমার পাশে। বেহাগ যদি না হয় রাজি, বসন্ত যদি না আসে, এই আসরে ইমান তুমি থাকো বন্ধু আমার পাশে। বেহাগ যদি না হয় রাজি, বসন্ত যদি না আসে, এই আসরে ইমান তুমি থাকো বন্ধু আমার পাশে। তোমার সুরের হাতটি ধরে চলো চলে যাই, যেখানেতে আনন্দ রাগ বাজে গো সদা তোমার সুরের হাতটি ধরে চলো চলে যাই যেখানেতে আনন্দ রাগ বাজে গো সদা কথার ফুলে সুরের ভ্রমর যেথায় মিলন সুখে হাসে সেই আসরে ইমান তুমি থাকো বন্ধু আমার পাশে চোখের দেখা যাক ফুরিয়ে ক্ষতি কিছু নাই স্বপ্ন দেখার নাই সীমানা দেখে যাব তাই চোখের দেখা যাক ফুরিয়ে ক্ষতি কিছু নাই স্বপ্ন দেখার নাই সীমানা দেখে যাব তাই ভালোবাসাই শিখেছে মন তাই তো শুধুই ভালোবাসে এই আসরে মন তুমি থাকো বন্ধু আমার পাশে বেহাগ যদি না হয় রাজি বসন্ত যদি না আসে এই আসরে ইমান তুমি থাকো বন্ধু আমার পাশে
Thank you so much for that wonderful song, Nikhilda. Let me share an interesting anecdote on how this song was written. Pulak Bandyopadhyay was known to pen lyrics in any situation in Ilan. Now, this incident is mentioned in the autobiography of Manna Dey, titled Jibone Jalsha Ghare. Let me read this paragraph from this book. মনে আছে দুই পুরুষ ছবির জন্য অধীর বাগচি পুলক বাবুর বাড়িতেই আমার সঙ্গে বসেছিলেন গান নিয়ে সুর করতে বসে উনি নানা রকম রাগ বাজাচ্ছিলেন একটার পর একটা পছন্দ না হলে আবার অন্য একটা রাগ বাজিয়ে শোনাচ্ছিলেন সেটা ভালো হবে কিনা কিন্তু বারবার চেষ্টা করেও তার পছন্দ হচ্ছিল না পুলক বাবু বললেন আচ্ছা এই না ভালো লাগা নিয়েই তো একটা ভালো গান হতে পারে বলেই লিখে ফেললেন বেহাগ যদি না হয় রাজি বসন্ত যদি না আসে এই আসরে ইমন তুমি থাকো বন্ধু আমার সাথে We now move on to the next performer. Our next performer is Shri Indranil Ghosh, an electrical engineer from 1986 batch. He was nicknamed Indu by his batchmates. Indranil Da will be singing an evergreen melody from the film Satya, released in 1982. Now, let's see who can write the name of the English movie from which this Hindi one was conceptualized. So while we listen to the song, Satya Pe Satta, if you would like to, you can share that knowledge with us. The movie from which it was conceptualized.
Hello and welcome everybody. I am going to sing this beautiful number from the film Satya Pe Satta, released in 1982 during our college days. The beautiful music created by R.D. Burmanji and sung by none other than Kishore Kumar. Please enjoy the song. Hey! La 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 la. दिलबर मेरे कब तक मुझे ऐसे ही तड़पाओगे, मैं आग दिल में लगा दूंगा वो कि पल में पिघल जाओगे। दिलबर मेरे कब तक मुझे ऐसे ही तड़पाओगे, मैं आग दिल में लगा दूंगा वो कि पल में पिघल जाओगे। एक दिन आएगा प्यार हो जाएगा, ओ मैं आग दिल में लगा दूंगा वो कि पल में पिघल जाओगे। सोचोगे जब मेरे बारे में तन्हाइयों में, घिर जाओगे और भी मेरी परछाइयों में। सोचोगे जब मेरे बारे में तन्हाइयों में, घिर जाओगे और भी मेरी परछाइयों में। ये दिल मचल जाएगा, प्यार हो जाएगा। दिलबर मेरे कब तक मुझे ऐसे ही तड़पाओगे, मैं आग दिल में लगा दूंगा वो कि पल में पिघल जाओगे। दिल से मिलेगा जो दिल तो महकने लगोगे, तुम मेरी बाहों में आके बहकने लगोगे। दिल से मिलेगा जो दिल तो बहकने लगोगे, तुम मेरी बाहों में आके बहकने लगोगे। ये होश खो जाएगा, प्यार हो जाएगा। दिलबर मेरे कब तक मुझे ऐसे ही तड़पाओगे, मैं आग दिल में लगा दूंगा वो कि पल में पिघल जाओगे। एक दिन आएगा प्यार हो जाएगा, ओ मैं आग दिल में लगा दूंगा वो कि पल में पिघल जाओगे। दिलबर मेरे कब तक मुझे ऐसे ही तड़पाओगे, मैं आग दिल में लगा दूंगा वो कि पल में पिघल जाओगे। Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Indranilda. That was such a foot-tapping number that we got from you. Before we listen to the next performer, there are two important announcements to make right now. First one is for the open session. Being mindful of the time limit that we have thought about maximum 10 speakers for the session and 2 minutes per speaker. Please write your name and year in the chat box. We will consider the early birds, but we are going to choose from 5 age ranges. That is, people who have graduated before 60, we are going to take 2 people. 2 people from the years of graduation 1961 to 75, then 2% from 1976 to 90, 91 to 2005, and then 2006 to the present day. So we will be having 10 participants, 10 early birds who will be writing their names first in these age ranges. And the second announcement is that we are thankful to BAPTEC for powering the cultural program for today. So our next performer is an electrical engineer from the batch of 1998. He resides in Bangalore, Deepaman Chakraborty. He will be singing a song composed by Chandrabindu, released in 1998 in their album Gatha. So let us listen to the song, and now helping us will be Hassan to play the song.
ছেঁড়া ঘুড়ি রঙিন বল এইটুকুই সম্বল আর ছিল রোদ্দুরে পাওয়া বিকেল বেলা বাজে বকা রাত্রি দিন অ্যাস্টেরিস টিন টিন এলোমেলো কথা উড়ে যেত হাসির ঠেলা সে হাসি ছুটে যেত গোধূলি মিছিলে সবার আলোক খেতে তুমিও কি ছিলে সে হাসি ছুটে যেত গোধূলি মিছিলে সবার আলোক খেতে তুমিও কি ছিলে হাওয়ায় হাওয়া হাওয়ায় হাওয়া বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা আর একবার যদি তোমাদের দলে নাও খেলায় বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা গল্পের মতো স্কুল বাড়ি জমে ওঠা ক্ষত খেলবো না হারি গল্পের মতো স্কুল বাড়ি জমে ওঠা ক্ষত খেলবো না হারি সে খেলা কানা গলি রোদ চুপি সারে এবং আগুন ছিল লাস্ট কাউন্টারে সে খেলা কানা গলি রোদ চুপি সারে এবং আগুন ছিল লাস্ট কাউন্টারে হাওয়ায় হাওয়া হাওয়ায় হাওয়া বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা আর একবার যদি তোমাদের দলে নাও খেলায় বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা বই মেলা ধুলো গার্গিসে হাসি চেনা মুখগুলো পরিচিত হাসি বই মেলা ধুলো গার্গিসে হাসি চেনা মুখগুলো পরিচিত হাসি সে হাসি রোদ ঝিকিমিকি কার নিশে সাহসী চুম্বন আজও পারে মিশে সে হাসি রোদ ঝিকিমিকি কার নিশে সাহসী চুম্বন আজও পারে মিশে হাওয়ায় হাওয়া হাওয়ায় হাওয়া বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা আর একবার যদি তোমাদের দলে নাও খেলায় বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা ছেঁড়া ছবি স্ফটিক জল এইটুকুই সম্বল বাদ বাকি রোদ চলে যাওয়া একাল বেলা একে ক্লান্ত দিন কম্পোজ অ্যাসপিরিন যানজটে দেরি হয়ে গেল একাল বেলা মরা মাঝের চোখ যায় যত দূরে শুকানো জল ছবি আজও রোদ দূরে মরা মাঝের চোখ যায় যত দূরে শুকানো জল ছবি আজও রোদ দূরে হাওয়ায় 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 হাওয়া বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা আর একবার যদি তোমাদের দলে নাও খেলা বন্ধু তোমায় এ গান শোনাবো বিকেল বেলা
Thank you so much, Deepaman, for sharing this wonderful song with us. There was a void in the world of Bengali music by the mid-80s, as we all remember. Bengal had lost many of her star singers and also her lyricists, composers. There were many who had left us during the mid-80s to the late 80s. We then saw rise of a different kind of a song. When we were in our third year, I remember an evening, the young audience in the I Hall were mesmerized with a new type of song, Jibon Mukhi Gan by Shumon Chattopadhyay. The genre and the singer was unknown till that date, but the young generation, the genre took them by storm. Tomaki Chai, Petkati Chandial became a rage in no time. 10 years later, another such singer and his song won millions of heart. Lal Phite Shada Moja school uniform. Yes, Nilanjana and Nuchiketa became household names overnight. We have from Faridabad civil engineer Debanjan Roy from the batch of 2000. He has recorded the song Nilanjana for us today, for today's event, presenting Debanjan Roy, civil engineer from the batch of 2000, with a very popular number, Nilanjana. And this will be played by our Shreyan. And let me tell you, Debanjan's nickname was Babu.
লাল ফিতে সাদা মোজা স্কুল ইউনিফর্ম, নটার সাইডের সংকেত সিলেবাসে মনোযোগ কম, পড়া ফেলে এক ছুট রাস্তার মোড়ে, দেখে সাইরেন মিস করা দোকানিরা দেয় ঘড়িতে দম, এরপরে এক রাশ কালো কালো ধোঁয়া, স্কুল বাসে চড়ে তার দ্রুত চলে যাওয়া, এরপর বিষণ্ণ দিন বাজে নবনবীন অবসাদে ঘিরে থাকা সে দীর্ঘদিন, হাজার কবিতা বেকার সবিতা, হাজার কবিতা বেকার সবিতা, তার কথা কেউ বলে না, সে প্রথম প্রেম আমার নীলাঞ্জনা, সে প্রথম প্রেম আমার নীলাঞ্জনা। গানা তো যখন পাড়ায় পাড়ায় রক থাকতো ভরে কিছু পকেটে ছোড়ায়, হিন্দি গানের কলি সদ্য শেখা গালাগালি একে হয়ে যেত সময়ে সময়ে, তখন উদাস মন হলে মনোরঞ্জন দাম দিয়ে যন্ত্রণা কিনতে চায়, তখন নীলাঞ্জনা প্রেমিকের কল্পনা ও মনের গভীরতা জানতে চায়, যখন খোলা চুলে হয়তো মনের ভুলে তাকাতো সে অবহেলে দু চোখ মেলে, হাজার কবিতা বেকার সবিতা, হাজার কবিতা বেকার সবিতা, তার কথা কেউ বলে না, সে প্রথম প্রেম আমার নীলাঞ্জনা, সে প্রথম প্রেম আমার নীলাঞ্জনা। অঙ্কের খাতা ভরা থাকতো আঁকায়, তার ছবি তার নাম পাতায় পাতায়, হাজার অনুষ্ঠান প্রভাত ফেরির গান মন দিয়ে গোনে এই দিনের আশায়, রাত জেগে নাটকের মহড়ায় চঞ্চল মন শুধু সেক্ষণের প্রতীক্ষায়, রাত্রির আঙিনায় যদি খোলা জানালায় একবার একবার যদি সে দাঁড়ায়, বোঝেনি অবুঝ মন নীলাঞ্জনা তখন নিজেতে ছিল মগনে প্রাণপণ, হাজার কবিতা বেকার সবিতা, হাজার কবিতা বেকার সবিতা, তার কথা কেউ বলে না, সে প্রথম প্রেম আমার নীলাঞ্জনা, সে প্রথম প্রেম আমার নীলাঞ্জনা, সে প্রথম প্রেম আমার নীলাঞ্জনা, সে প্রথম প্রেম আমার নীলাঞ্জনা।
What a performance it was. From the album Pran Khula Gan, released in 2003. Thank you, Debanjan, for sending the song. Rabindranath Tagore, isn't he not the greatest lyricist and composer of all times? The next song is a Rabindra Sangeet based on Rag Yaman. Written in 1895, this timeless creation today is sung by electronics and telecommunication engineer Mohua Dashgupta Guho from the batch of 2003. Inspired by Kaushiki Chakraborty's rendition, Mohua's rendition captures the Rag Yaman and the song. She is accompanied by Bedvit Mukherjee, who is a civil engineer from the batch of 2007. Nibhrito Bashini Bina Pani, Omrito Muroti Moti Khani, Hirano Kirano Chobi Khani, Poranir Kotha she biraje, Hridayo Komolo Bono Maji, Modhuro Dhoni Baji. Let us play the song then.
Ah
thank you so much, Mohua and Bedweet, for that wonderful performance. Although it's winter and quite chilly here, what harm is it to imagine that spring is here? So let us listen to a composition by Anupam Rai from the movie Chotushkone, released in 2014. Boshanto Eshe Geche. An instrumental presentation by our own Shreyan Nandi, who is working behind the scene so tirelessly for the whole evening. He's a metallurgy engineer from the batch of 2012, residing in Kolkata. So let us hear Boshanto Eshe Geche, an instrumental presentation. was an enthralling performance by Shriyan. We have come nearly to the end of the cultural program. We have got 2 more performances here. The last 2 performances are by the present students, and we are really delighted that they have sent their videos to us to be played today, and they're a part of our celebration today. In spite of their busy schedules, they have taken this time out, and we are really thankful to them. The first one is from the film My Name is Khan, and the song is Sajda, sung by Mudassir Khan, 3rd year student of civil engineering, Joita Gorai, 2nd year student of IT, and the music has been arranged by Priyanshu Pramanik. He is 2nd year student of electronics and telecommunication engineering. So let us listen to Sajda by the present students.
रोम रोम तेरा नाम पुकारे, एक हुए दिन रैन हमारे, हमसे हम ही छिन गए जब से देखे नैन तेरा सजदा तेरी काली अखियों से जिंद मेरी जागे, धड़कन से तेज दौड़ूं सपनों से आगे, तेरी काली अखियों से जिंद मेरी जागे, धड़कन से तेज दौड़ूं सपनों से आगे, अब जान लुट जाए ये जान छूट जाए संग प्यार रहे मैं रहूं ना रहूं, सजदा तेरा सजदा करूं मैं तेरा सजदा, तेरे रहन करूं ना चैन करूं, सजदा तेरा सजदा करूं मैं तेरा सजदा, तकवार करूं मेरी जान करूं। ऐसा मैं सदाई हुआ, धड़कने भी अपनी तो लगती है तेरी आहटें, अरे हाँ मांगी ना खुदाई मैंने, मांगा ना जमाना भी, मांग ली है तेरी चाहते, ख्वाहिशें मिलने की तुमसे, ख्वाहिशें मिलने की तुमसे रोज होती है नहीं, मेरे दिल की जीत मेरी मात बन गई, हो तुम जो आए जिंदगी में बात बन गई, इश्क मजहब इश्क मेरी जात बन गई, सपने तेरी चाहतों के, सपने तेरी चाहतों के देखता हूँ अब कहीं, तेरे सोना और
Thank you, Joita, Mudassir, and Priyanshu for that wonderful performance. And thank you for that video because it was very nostalgic, seeing all the wonderful places. Those, the first gate and the clock tower, they're so nostalgic, right? The last performance of today is by the Music Society of IIEST Shibpur, Euphony. As you remember, the first performance was by Shanjata Mitroda, who had started the first B College band. And the last one is by the present Euphony, the Music Society or the band. We have on vocal Moinak Mojumdar. He is second year student of IT. Acoustic guitar, we have Rishabh Verma. He's second year IT student. And on the lead guitar, we have Moinak Roy, second year electronics and telecommunication engineering. Piano and synthesizers, Tomonash Bhattacharya. He is a second year student of IT. The audio has been mixed and mastered by Rishabh Verma, and the video editing has been done by another IT student of second year, Devangshu Chatterjee. So let us listen to the last performance, and let me remind you all that this cultural program has been powered by BAPTech today. The last performance of today by Euphony. Thank you, Euphony, for that wonderful presentation that brings us to the end of the cultural program today. And we are really sorry for the slight technical glitches that happened in between the program. It sometimes happens because of the bandwidth issues. And we now move over to the very awaited, yes, of course, this cultural session has been powered by Babtech, and we are thankful to them for powering this session. We now move over to the very interactive, wonderful open house session that we always waited for during an alumni meet. For today's session, we had requested to give your names and the batch names, dates in the chat box. And we have got some names here with us right now. So without much ado, let's start because it's already 10:20 and we would like to wrap up the session as early as possible. So the first speaker would be from 1962 civil engineer, Probir Neogi. Probir Neogi, he is civil engineer from the batch of 1962. We would request him to speak in this occasion.
Hello, Kosturi, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. You're loud and clear.
First, Kosturi, I would like to thank you, Indranil, Partho, and all the others for a superbly organized event. I wish we had had a larger audience, but that's a matter for another discussion. I wish to point out two things. First, there are two alumni here from 1957. I, of course, refer to Amitabh Shri Amitabh Ghoshal, and Orunda, Dr. Orun Deb. Whether there are any earlier alumni, I can't say, but you can see now that the association is well over 60 years between them, who entered the college in 1953, and the current alumni. Before I ask you my question, and it's only a very relevant question, let me also point out to the members of the Music Society that Downing Hall and Slater Hall are our oldest student hostels. And in fact, from 1924 to 1928, my father lived in Slater Hall, where he was studying at B College. Now, my question to you is this. We all know that our beloved Iladi, Ila Mojumdar, who later became Dr. Ila Ghosh, was the first woman graduate from B College in 1951. Who was the next woman graduate? Anyone can answer this if you like.
That's a wonderful question. It's good to know too. So anybody would be ready to answer?
Snigdha Bose? Na, tar age ache.
ওই জন্যই ও কুইজ টিমে এবার চান্স পায়নি, বুঝতে পারছি, বুঝে ভুলভাল আনসার দেওয়ার জন্য।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, তার অনেক আগে 60 ইলেকট্রিক্যাল 65 এ পাস করেছিল স্নিগ্ধাতি তো।
হ্যাঁ, ইলেকট্রিক্যাল 65 এরও আগে আছে।
আমার cousin, she is not the second.
Yeah. So they
by the way, Snigdha Bose was known as antimony.
হ্যাঁ, আর অনেক পরে 67 68 এ পাস করেছে।
Let me hazard a guess because I'm not absolutely sure. But Debjani Dasgupta, 1963 architecture, is my classmate. If there is anybody between Iladi and Debjani Dasgupta, I would like to know.
But actually,
Orunda has been associated with our college from 1953 onwards.
Yeah, Orunda, কারণ দেবজানিদির নামটা আমার মনে পড়ছিল না। I was in college during that time, 61 to 66. আমার নামটা মনে পড়ছিল না।
তবে এই কি বলে প্রবীরদা, দেবযানীদি আমার মনে হয় যে আগে কেউ আছে কি বলে আমারও মনে পড়ছে না। দেবযানীদি তো জানি,
দেবযানীকে আমি ডেফিনেটলি জানি, কেন 58 এ আর আমি একই বছরে উই এন্টার বি কলেজ।
যাক ঠিক আছে।
যদি অরুণদা না বলে তাহলে আমরা জানতে পারছি না আর কি।
আমরা কি নামটা জানতে পারি?
অরুণদা কি এখনো আছে?
আমার মনে হয় আমরা নামটা বার করতে পারি, একটু খোঁজ নিয়ে বার করা যায়, আমরা আমাদের মেইলে পাঠিয়ে দিতে পারি, সেটা ভালো হয়, রাইট?
আমার মনে হয় তার মানে we can go.
We can do that.
Bhiman is desperately trying in Google.
আমি অরূপ আসছি। আমি তো আমার মনে আছে যে, কিন্তু নাম তো আর মনে পড়ছে না, কিন্তু কি বলে তোমার 657-এ যারা যেসব ইয়াং লেডিজরা জয়েন করেছিলেন তাদের মধ্যে কেউ একজন 61-এ পাস করেছেন। সেইটা তুমি একটু দেখে নিও, আমার ঠিক মনে পড়ছে না, নামগুলো তো আজকাল আর মনে থাকে না, কিন্তু মোস্ট লাইকলি ইউ উইল গেট এন অ্যান্সার। আর তোমাদের সকলকে আমার বিশেষ শুভেচ্ছা জানাই। তোমরা খুব সুন্দর প্রোগ্রাম করেছো, আমি খুব আনন্দিত হয়েছি, প্রায় পুরোটাই দেখেছি, খুব ভালো লেগেছে। এবং বিশেষ করে তোমাদের সকলকেই কংগ্রেচুলেশন জানাই। আর শ্রেয়ান কোথায় জানি না, ওটা অপূর্ব ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডে সব কাজ করে দিয়েছে। মাই হ্যাটস অফ টু হিম। এন্ড তুমি কস্তুরী অপূর্ব কন্ডাক্ট করেছো, আমার বিশেষ অভিনন্দন যেন। অবশ্য অঞ্জনাকে তো আমি খুব ভালো করেই চিনি। অঞ্জনা, তোমার কংগ্রেচুলেশন জানাচ্ছি for everything here. I deeply enjoyed it.
That was the whole purpose, to spread the. It is a season of happiness, so we are just trying to spread it. And আমরা কি আমাদের পরের স্পিকারের কাছে যাই?
হ্যাঁ, পরে চলো।
Dr. Santa Bir Singh Tuladar. He is a civil engineer from 1969. Can we hear from you, Dr. Singh?
You have to unmute yourself. I can't hear you. You are muted.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Can I speak in Bengali, Kasturi?
Please do.
I can?
Of course. Ekdom.
Yes. ধন্যবাদ, ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে আমি অভিবাদন করছি। আমি 1963-তে বি কলেজে ঢুকেছিলাম। আমি 1963-তে এক সপ্তাহের মধ্যে আমি বাঙালি শিখেছি, লেখা পড়া বলা। তখন থেকে আজকে পর্যন্ত আমি যখনই বাংলা মানুষ দেখছি বাংলাতে কথা বলছি। অনেক বাংলাদেশি লোক বন্ধুরা আছে, ওনার সঙ্গে শুদ্ধ বাঙালিতে কথা বলছি।
দারুণ দারুণ, এইটাই তো ভালো।
কেননা আমি সুইট ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ এটাও ভালো লাগে। আমি কখনোই ফরগেট করতে পারছি না। সরি, কিছু কিছু শব্দ ভুলে গেছে। আমি দুটো গান, বাঙালি গান এখনো মনে আছে। আমি অনেককে এই গান শোনাচ্ছি। নাম রেখেছি বনলতা যখন দেখেছি, হয়তো বা সেইখানে তোমায় ভালোবেসেছি। দুসরাটা সন্ধ্যে ঝরঝর ঝরঝর বৃষ্টি মিষ্টি গো সন্ধ্যে ঝরঝর বৃষ্টি মিষ্টি গো আমি বাঙালি ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল বাংলাদেশ বাঙালি ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ অনেক ভালোবাসি আমি কখনো আমি লিখতেও পারি পড়তেও পারি এখনো আমি 69-এ পাস করি সেই জন্য আমার দু ব্যাচে বন্ধুরা আছে 68-এ ব্যাচ 69-এ ব্যাচ আমি সিভিলে পাস করি তারপরে আমি নেপালে ফিরে গেলাম আমি নেপালে ফিরে গেলাম 10 বছর আমি কাজ করেছি গভর্নমেন্টে নেপাল গভর্নমেন্টে তারপরে আমি 1979-এ ব্যাঙ্গালোর ইউনিভার্সিটি গিয়ে মাস্টার্স হাইওয়ে অ্যান্ড এয়ারপোর্ট ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং পিএইচডি ট্রাফিক ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিংটি করেছি আর আমি দুটো বই আমার তৈয়ার পাবলিশ করার জন্য আমি ট্রাই করেছি আমি কিছু ড্রাফট আছে কে প্রকাশন করবে সেটা নাই জানি না ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং সার্টিফিকেট একটা বইও আমি আমার কাছে আছে রেডি আছে সেই জন্য আমি বিই কলেজ আমার যেরকম গৌতম বুদ্ধ হয়ে সব শিক্ষা সব বিজ্ঞান ইন্ডিয়াতে পেয়েছি সেই রকম আমি নেপালে জন্ম হলেও আমি ইন্ডিয়াতে মাস্টার বিই থেকে মাস্টার পিএইচডি সব কিছু করেছি আমার জ্ঞানের ভূমি নেপাল ক্যালকাটা ব্যাঙ্গালোর ক্যালকাটা ব্যাঙ্গালোর ইন্ডিয়া সেই জন্য আমি সবাইকে আমি আর একটা ভিতরি হার্ট থেকে আমি অভিমান করি আমি সবাইকে আমি কস্তুরী বাসু বোনকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ দিচ্ছি স্পেশাল ধন্যবাদ আর শ্যাম প্রসাদ দত্ত যে আমাকে রিমাইন্ডার হয়ে দিয়েছে ওনাকে বিশেষ ধন্যবাদ আমি দিতে চাইছি কেন আমি বাইরে যাওয়ার প্রোগ্রাম ছিল সডেনলি আমি ইমেল দেখলাম ও আজকে তো এই প্রোগ্রাম আছে আমি বাইরে যাওয়ার প্রোগ্রাম ক্যান্সেল করে এখানে আছি বহুত অনেক ভালো লাগলো যেটা কালচারাল প্রোগ্রামটা অনেক অনেক ভালো আমি আমার ইয়ারটা অনেক প্রসন্ন হলো মন প্রসন্ন হলো সেই জন্য আমি সবাইকে সবাই আলুমনিকে যা যা প্রসঙ্গে সবাইকে অনেক অভিমান করে আমি ধন্যবাদ
ভালো থাকবেন
তুমি জয়েন করেছো খুব খুব ভালো লাগলো আমি তোমার ব্যাচের সবাইকে বলবো আমি তো 67-তে পাস করেছি
আচ্ছা
আপনার বইটা প্রকাশিত হোক পাবলিশড হোক এটাই আমরা চাই আর খুব তাড়াতাড়ি আর আপনি যে বাংলায় এত সুন্দর কতক্ষণ ধরে বললেন মানে আমাদের বাংলা ভাষা যে এত মধুর এত মিষ্টি সেটাই মনে হলো আপনার কথা শুনতে শুনতে আর মনে হচ্ছিল সেই কবি শামসুর রহমানের একটা কথা আছে বাংলা ভাষা উচ্চারিত হলে নিকানো উঠোনে ঝরে রোদ বারান্দায় লাগে জ্যোৎস্নার চন্দন সেরকমই লাগলো আপনার কথা শুনে আপনি ভালো থাকবেন সবসময় আমরা পরের যিনি আছেন তাকে একটু ডেকে নিই আমাদের কথা বলার জন্য so our next speaker is Shri Biman Ghosh metallurgical engineer from the batch of 1981 তার কথা বলার আগে একটা ছোট্ট প্রশ্ন করি সবাইকে let me give a rapid fire question to all of you one rapid fire question you can write it down in the chat box what is the one thing that comes to mind when you remember your college your BE college or IIST or GAABESU so that the one thing that comes to mind the very first moment just write it down so our next speaker we would like to hear from Bimanda
থ্যাংক ইউ কস্তুরী আমাদের আগের যিনি বললেন ডক্টর শান্তা বাহাদুরদার পরে ন্যাচারালি আমাকে বাংলাতেই বলতে হবে অসাধারণ অসাধারণ একটা স্পিরিটকে উনি রিফ্লেক্ট করলেন আমি জানি এখন দেশে প্রায় খাবার সময় হয়ে গেছে তোমাদের ডিনার আর তোমাদের মধ্যে বেশি ফাঁক রাখতে চাই না, আমি আমার স্টপার চালু করে দিয়েছি, 3 মিনিটেই রাখবো। তো আজকের যে আলোচনা হলো, স্পেশালি প্রথম পার্টটা, আমি সেখানে ডিরেক্টরের আহ্বান, অঞ্জনাদি বললেন NIRF র্যাঙ্কিং ইত্যাদি। আমার মনে হয় 2019 সালের অ্যালামনি ডেতে আমি একটা কথা বলেছিলাম যে সময় বদলাচ্ছে, যুগ বদলাচ্ছে। 2019 সালের পরে 2020 এসছে, এর মধ্যে ন্যাশনাল এডুকেশন পলিসি রোলড আউট হয়েছে। NIRF র্যাঙ্কিং বা QS র্যাঙ্কিং যেগুলো নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলছি, দিজ আর জাস্ট ইন্ডিকেটর, বাট এর তলায়, এর মধ্যে যে স্কেলিটনটা আছে, যে স্ট্রাকচারটা আছে, আমাদের তার সেই অ্যানাটমিটাকে বুঝতে হবে, কিভাবে ইনস্টিটিউট গুলো ফাংশন করে সেই ফিজিওলজিটাকেও বুঝতে হবে। তো যদি আমরা সেই জায়গাতে যাই, আমি কতগুলো জিনিস জাস্ট বলছি পয়েন্টার হিসাবে। আমরা জানি NIRF র্যাঙ্কিং একটা সময় আমরা 20-র মধ্যে ছিলাম, 18-র A, তারপরে 21, এখন 27-এ পৌঁছেছি। তো এই যে 21 থেকে 27-এ পৌঁছানোর যে জার্নিটা, এই জার্নিটা আমাদের পয়েন্টের ডিফারেন্স, অ্যাবসলিউট র্যাঙ্কিং এ অনলি 0.333, অর্থাৎ 1/3 অফ এ পয়েন্ট আমরা লুজ করেছি, অ্যান্ড উই লস্ট লাইক 6 পজিশনস ইন দ্য NIRF র্যাঙ্কিং। যারা এই বিষয়টা জানেন না, আমি সবাইকে বলবো একটু NIRF র্যাঙ্কিং নিয়ে পড়াশোনা করুন, কেননা ইনস্টিটিউটের এই স্বাস্থ্যটা রক্ষা করার দায় কিন্তু খালি যারা প্রাতিষ্ঠানিক অধিনায়কত্ব করছেন তাদের নয়, এর দায়টা আমাদের সকলের। অ্যালামনি ইনস্টিটিউটের অন্যতম ইম্পর্টেন্ট কনস্টিটিউয়েন্ট। আমরা সৌভিকের কাছ থেকে শুনলাম ছাত্ররা আজকে ব্যাপারটাকে কিভাবে দেখছে। তো সেই ছাত্রদের পার্সপেক্টিভ, আমি একটা সময় BE কলেজে শিক্ষকতা করেছি, সেই পার্সপেক্টিভ একজন অ্যালামনাই হিসাবে বলছি যে অ্যালামনিদের একটা বিরাট রোল আছে এই জায়গাটাকে নিজেদের একাডেমিক ডিপার্টমেন্ট গুলোতে ফিরে গিয়ে সেই ব্রিজটাকে স্থাপনা করা, নিজেদের হেড অফ দ্য ডিপার্টমেন্টদের সঙ্গে কানেক্ট করুন। আপনারা দেখুন NIRF এর যে স্ট্রাকচারটা বলা আছে, সেখানে মেইন কম্পোনেন্ট গুলো হচ্ছে টিচিং, লার্নিং অ্যান্ড রিসোর্সেস, ইটস কল্ড TLR। তারপরের কম্পোনেন্ট রিসার্চ অ্যান্ড প্রফেশনাল প্র্যাকটিস, তারপরের কম্পোনেন্ট গ্র্যাজুয়েশন আউটকাম, তারপরে আউটরিচ অ্যান্ড ইনক্লুসিভিটি, অ্যান্ড লাস্ট কম্পোনেন্ট ইজ পিয়ার পারসেপশন। সো আমার মনে হয় দুটো একটা জায়গা ছাড়া বাকি সব কটা জায়গায় আমরা খুব ভালোভাবে কন্ট্রিবিউট করতে পারি। যারা প্রফেশনাল লাইফে আজকে একটা ম্যাচুরিটির জায়গায় এসেছি, তারা খালি স্টুডেন্টদেরকে মেন্টর করা নয়, ইয়াঙ্গার ফ্যাকাল্টি যারা আজকে কলেজে গ্রুম হচ্ছে, যাদের সামনে জয় করার জন্য রয়েছে পুরো প্রফেশনাল দুনিয়াটা, তাদেরকে লেট আস এনরিচ দেম। এই ব্রিজটা আপনারা স্থাপনা করুন, একাডেমিক ডিপার্টমেন্টগুলোর সঙ্গে কানেক্ট করুন, তবেই কিন্তু এই NIRF র্যাঙ্কিং এর ব্যাপারটা নিয়ে আমাদের যে ভাবনা সেটা করা যাবে। আমি গ্ল্যাড টু হিয়ার দ্যাট অঞ্জনাদি বললেন যে NIRF র্যাঙ্কিং নিয়ে তারা বোর্ডের চেয়ারম্যানকে চিঠি লিখেছেন। আমি জানি প্রফেসর জ্যোতির্ময় মজুমদার আর আমাদের মধ্যে নেই, উনি এদেশেও একজন ফেমাস একাডেমিশিয়ান ছিলেন, ন্যাশনাল একাডেমি অফ ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এর সদস্য ছিলেন। মারা যাওয়ার আগে 2020 সালেই ওদের 72 ব্যাচ একটা প্রপোজাল দিয়েছিল। জানি না সেই প্রপোজাল গুলোর কি হলো। আমি অ্যালামনি বডিকে রিকোয়েস্ট করব সেই প্রপোজাল গুলোকে রিভাইভ করতে। ডিরেক্টর যে উদাত্ত আহ্বান রেখেছেন অ্যালামনিদের সাজেশন, কোঅপারেশন নিয়ে কাজ করার জন্য, লেট আস ইউটিলাইজ ইট টু দ্য ফুলেস্ট। আর NIRF র্যাঙ্কিং এর পাশাপাশি ডিরেক্টর আর একটা কথাও বলেছেন, QS র্যাঙ্কিং। জাস্ট আমি জানিয়ে রাখছি যে QS র্যাঙ্কিং এও আমাদের স্লাইড হয়েছে। 2021 সালের যে র্যাঙ্কিংটা 2020 পারফরমেন্সের ওপর, তার মধ্যে আমরা 301 থেকে 350-এর মধ্যে ছিলাম। বাই দ্য ওয়ে 300-র পরে ওরা আর স্পেসিফিক র্যাঙ্কিং দেয় না, আপনারা কাউন্ট করে গেলে দেখবেন সেখানে 314-এ আমরা ছিলাম। এবার এই বছরের যে র্যাঙ্কিং 2021-এর পারফরমেন্স অনুযায়ী, সেখানে আমরা স্লাইড করে 350 থেকে 400-র জায়গায় চলে গেছি, অর্থাৎ স্পেসিফিক র্যাঙ্ক অকুপাই করছি 364th। আমাদের র্যাঙ্কিং QS এর ওয়ার্ল্ড তালিকায় গেলে 1200-র পরে, এবং 1200-র পরে ওরা এক্স্যাক্টলি নাম্বারগুলো জানায় না, খুব সম্ভবত আমরা 1300 অ্যান্ড বিয়ন্ডে পৌঁছে গেছি। আমার একটাই অ্যাপিল আপনাদের সবার কাছে, আপনারা প্রফেশনাল জীবনে আফটার গ্র্যাজুয়েশন, বিয়ন্ড গ্র্যাজুয়েশন অনেক কিছু অ্যাচিভ করেছেন। আজকে চলুন সেই অ্যাচিভমেন্টের জায়গাগুলো থেকে আমাদের কলেজগুলোকে, আমাদের ডিপার্টমেন্টগুলোকে আমরা আবার সার্ভ করার জায়গায় পৌঁছাই। একাডেমিক হেড যেন বুঝতে পারেন যে তার এই জার্নিতে তিনি খালি ফ্যাকাল্টি আর স্টুডেন্টদের নিয়ে একা নন, প্রাতিষ্ঠানিক সহযোগিতার জায়গায় আমরা আছি এবং আমরা সবাই এগিয়ে চলবো। এই অঙ্গীকারটুকু আমরা নিই, সেটাই হোক আমাদের 2022-এর চলার পথে শ্রেষ্ঠ পাথেয়। ধন্যবাদ, শুভরাত্রি যারা দেশে আছেন।
ধন্যবাদ বিমানদা। আমরা এইটা নিয়ে কথা বলছিলাম আমারই ব্যাচের বন্ধুর সাথে, যে আমার ইন্ডাস্ট্রির সাথে যে লিঙ্কটা দরকার খুব, সেটা আমাদের করতে হবে খুব শীঘ্র, জিনিসটা স্টার্ট করা দরকার। তো আমরা আমাদের এবার পরের যিনি আছেন স্পিকার, তার সাথে যাই, কিন্তু তার আগে আমি বলি কয়েকজন লিখেছেন আমাদের কলেজের নাম, কলেজ বললেই মনে হয় সেকেন্ড হোম কিংবা হস্টেল ডেজ, আরো কিছু লিখেছেন, বলছি পরপর। Friends, first gate, my professors and hostel life, my friends yet in contact after 65 years, my childhood, my seniors, classmates and juniors and PNB, Shankar Sen and other professors. So my childhood is come up several times. তিনজন বোধহয় my childhood লিখেছেন। সুতরাং আমাদের ছোটবেলাটা আমরা কাটিয়েছি ওখানেই এবং প্রচুর স্মৃতি সেখানে। আমরা চলে যাচ্ছি আমাদের পরের যিনি আছেন বলবেন আমাদেরকে। সেম ব্যাচ, বিমানদার ব্যাচের একই ডিপার্টমেন্ট, মেটালার্জি, 81 ব্যাচ, সৌমিত্র সিনহার, ওনার কাছে কিছু শুনে নি। সৌমিত্র দা, আপনি কি আছেন?
আমি আছি। হ্যাঁ, বলো কি বিষয় বলবো?
যা মনে চায় কলেজ নিয়ে।
তুই কি ভুল করে হাত তুলেছিলি?
না তো,
মনে হচ্ছে বলবে বলে এসে জিজ্ঞেস করছে কি নিয়ে বলবো।
হ্যাঁ, সেই জন্যই তো আমি একটু ঘাবড়ে গেলাম যে আমাকে কেন বলতে বলছে। না আমি হাত তুলি।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, তুমি হাত তোলোনি?
নামটা লিখেছিলেন তো আমি ভাবলাম বুঝি বলতে চাইছেন।
না আমি নামটা, ও যাহা চাই তাহা ভুল করে চাই ক্যাটেগরিতে।
ঠিক আছে।
কলেজ বলে পরে আপনার কি মনে হয় সেটা কিছু যদি একটা দুটো লাইন বলেন, তারপর আমরা পরের জন্য চলে যাব। মনে হচ্ছে কি বলার কথা?
হ্যাঁ, কলেজ বলতে আমার প্রথমেই যেটা মনে পড়ে আমার সেটা হচ্ছে ক্লক টাওয়ার।
এই তো,
যেটা আমি জানি না অন্যান্যরা লিখেছেন কিনা কলেজের এটা, এবং তার সঙ্গে হোস্টেল লাইফ এবং কলেজে থেকে পাশ করার পরে এই যে অ্যালামনি ব্যাপারটা যে আমার খুব ভালো লাগে। মানে সকলের মোটামুটি চেষ্টা করে খোঁজ খবর রাখা, যেটা আমি দেখেছি অন্য কলেজে কোথাও নেই, অলমোস্ট নেই। তো এই তিনটে জিনিসই আমার খুব ভালো লাগে।
সত্যি এগুলো কিরকম মনের মধ্যে, মনের মণিকোঠায় থেকে গেছে। সেই ক্লক টাওয়ার ছেড়ে যায় না, আমাদের সঙ্গে সঙ্গেই হাঁটে যেন। আমরা এরপরে একটু ডেকে নিই আমাদের 1967 ব্যাচের সিভিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ার আছেন সাথে, দুলাল গোলদার। উনি আমাদেরকে কি বলবেন একটু শোনা যাক।
নমস্কার সবাইকে।
নমস্কার।
আমি এখনো শিক্ষকতা করছি।
আচ্ছা।
আমি রিটায়ার করেছি 2007 ডিসেম্বরে as director from Delhi College of Engineering.
দিল্লিতে প্রচন্ড শীত বোঝা যাচ্ছে।
মাথায় টুপি না দিলে ঠান্ডা লাগার সম্ভাবনা বেশি। ঠান্ডা লাগলে খুব মুশকিল, কোথা থেকে কি দাঁড়িয়ে যায় কিছু বলা যায় না।
এই সময় এত সাবধানে থাকতে হচ্ছে।
সব দিকে সাবধানতা, বাইরে বেরোলেই মাস্ক আর দূরত্ব তো রাখতেই হবে। ভিড়ে এসে হাত ধোয়া, হাত মুখ ভালো করে ধোয়া, এটা তো চলছেই আর চলবেও। আমি যেটা বলতে চাইছি, আজকের অনুষ্ঠানে আমরা যদি কলেজের মধ্যে প্রোগ্রাম করতাম তাহলে আমাদের যারা এখন কলেজে পড়ছেন ছাত্রছাত্রী, তারা অনেকেই নানানভাবে ভলেন্টিয়ার হয়ে আমাদের সঙ্গে যোগাযোগ রাখতো এবং কাজ করত। কিন্তু আজকের প্রোগ্রামে আমরাই শুধু সিনিয়ররাই আছি, শুধু একজন দুজন কথা বলেছেন, গান করেছেন, কিন্তু তাদের সঙ্গে এটা একটা দিন যখন আমরা মেলামেশা করতে পারি এবং অনেক কিছু জানা যায় এখন যারা ছাত্রছাত্রী আছে তাদের থেকে। সেটা একটা, আমি ভাবছি এর পরের মিটিং এ যদি একটু এনকারেজ করা যায় তাদেরকে, তাহলে খুবই ভালো হয়। আর অনলাইন ক্লাসের আমিও নিচ্ছি, মাঝে মাঝে মনে হয় আমার কথায় আমি শুনছি, বাকি যারা আছে তারা কেউ শুনছে না। এটা একটা বিরাট গ্যাপ। যদি ক্লাসরুম হতো 60 জন বা 70 জন স্টুডেন্টের প্রত্যেকের খাতায় যে দেখা যেত তারা কি করছে, এবং কেউ যদি কিছু না করে বসে থাকে তার পাশে যে বলা যেত, ভাই তুমি করছো না কেন, তোমার অসুবিধাটা কি। এখন কাউকে কিছু দেখা যায় না, যে মনে হয় যেন আমি আমার মধ্যেই বলছি। এটা একটা বিরাট গ্যাপ। আর দ্বিতীয় যেটা আমাদের টেকনোলজি অনেক ডেভেলপ করা দরকার, ছাত্র ছাত্রীরা অনেক দূরে দূরে থাকে, কেউ বিহারে থাকে, কেউ লাদাখে থাকে, কেউ জম্মু কাশ্মীরের ভেতর, তাদের কানেক্টিভিটি আমাদের সরকারেরও দরকার, হাউ টু ইমপ্রুভ কানেক্টিভিটি, এবং হেল্প করাও দরকার। এটাই আমার বলার ইচ্ছে। আর অফলাইন ক্যাম্পাসের জন্য আগে বলেছিলাম, একটু এখন তো আর কোনো কিছু করা যাবে না, যখন ঠিক হয়ে যাক কোভিড থেকে আমরা সবাই মুক্ত হয়ে যাই, কিছু আবার চেষ্টা করা যাবে। নমস্কার।
নমস্কার, ধন্যবাদ অনেক। আর আমরা আমাদের যিনি লাস্ট স্পিকার আছেন তার আগেই বলি যাকি আমরা লাস্ট ঠিক নয়, we have also got Professor Ajoy Roy who has joined us from, I believe, California, and we would like him to speak too, but let's hear from 1996 civil engineer Shantanu Chakraborty first, and we would then listen to Professor Ajoy Roy's speech.
থ্যাংক ইউ কস্তুরী আমাকে সুযোগ দেওয়ার জন্য। আর গ্যালাক্সি অফ ইঞ্জিনিয়ার্স আছেন এখানে, আই এম রিয়েলি ভেরি হ্যাপি। অমিতাভ ঘোষাল স্যার আছেন এখানে, অমিতাভ দা আছেন। অনেক কিছু বলার আছে, ব্রিফ করছি। এই লকডাউনে সবকিছু খারাপ হয়নি। এই লকডাউনের মাঝখানে আমরা একটা কবিতার চেষ্টা করেছিলাম, কস্তুরী তোমার সঙ্গে আমি পারফর্ম করার সুযোগ পেয়েছিলাম ওকা করে ভবনে, তোমার ঠিক পাশে। তখন আলাপ ছিল না, এইখানে কিছুদিন আগে যে তুমি বি কলেজের। এনিওয়ে, আর আমরা এখন সিলভার জুবিলি মোডে আছি। গতকালই আমাদের গেট টুগেদার হয়েছে শিবপুরে, আমাদের প্রায় 50-এর মধ্যে এসেছিলাম আমরা। তখন আমরা অনেককে মিস করেছিলাম। আমাদের সোমনাথ মুখার্জি আছে, ও এখন বাইরে আছে, এখানে মিট হয়ে গেল।
আচ্ছা, বাহ, খুব ভালো, ভীষণ
তো
ভালো। এটাই তো
অনেক
এই সময়টাতে
অনেক পয়েন্ট আছে। আমার খুব ভালো লাগে সবার সঙ্গে ইন্টারেক্ট করতে, জুনিয়রদের সঙ্গে। অনেকে আমার কাছে ট্রেনিং করতে আসে, ভোকেশনাল ট্রেনিং এ, তখন কিছু কথাবার্তা হয়ে থাকে। আর আমি এই লকডাউনে একটা গ্রুপ চালু করেছি। আমরা শিবপুরের 2008 সালে ব্যাচে ভাস্কর বলে ছেলে আছে, আইটিতে চাকরি করে। তো আমার নামটা দিয়েছি সিম্পল, CIMPLE, মানে সিভিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং সিম্পলিফাইড হয়ে। অনেকের ফান্ডামেন্টাল, আমরা এক একটা কর্নারে থাকি, সবার তো সবকিছু এক্সপিরিয়েন্স থাকে না। যে যেখানে আছে, যে এক্সপিরিয়েন্স, তারা আমরা যখন বিভিন্ন বিষয় নিয়ে আড্ডা মারি, সিনেমা নিয়ে, খেলা নিয়ে, তখন আমরা ভাবলাম আমরা ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং আড্ডা মারতে পারি না কেন। ওই জন্য আমরা শনিবার দিন 8টা থেকে 10টা আমি সবাইকে রিকোয়েস্ট করবো, যারা সিনিয়র আছেন তারা যদি পার্টিসিপেট কখনো কোনো গেস্ট হিসেবে করতে পারেন বা জুনিয়র ইন্টারেক্ট করতে পারেন, এনিবডি ক্যান পার্টিসিপেট। তাহলে আমাদের কোন যে যেটাতে কাজ করছি সেখানে আমরা পুরো হয়েছে, সেখানে অন্যান্য দিক সম্বন্ধে দূরত্ব চলে আছি। যারা কনস্ট্রাকশন কাজে, ডিজাইন সম্বন্ধে কিছুই জানি না। তারপরে এখন নতুন জেনারেশন ছেলেমেয়েরা কম্পিউটারে অনেক বেশি আপডেটেড, আর পুরোনো জেনারেশনের সঙ্গে একটা গ্যাপ তো হয়ে যায়, সেখানে একটা মেলবন্ধ হওয়ার জায়গা আছে। আর আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করবো, আমি অনেককেই অ্যাপ্রোচ করেছি, আমাদের শ্যামাদা আছেন, শ্যামাদার থ্রু দিয়ে অনেক সেমিনারে আমি ওনার সঙ্গে ইন্টারেক্ট করার সুযোগ পাই। বি কলেজের আমি শিবপুর থেকে করার পর রিসেন্টলি যাদবপুর থেকে মাস্টার ডিগ্রি করেছি ওই স্ট্রাকচার রিপেয়ার অ্যান্ড রেট্রোফিট নিয়ে 2011 থেকে 14। যেটা হচ্ছে, আমি একটা রিকোয়েস্ট করবো, মানে আমাদের যারা সিনিয়র আছেন তারা যদি একটা মানে উইন্ডো করে রাখেন, ধরুন মাসে একটা করে উইন্ডো থাকলো, যিনি রোডসের পায়োনিয়ার, ওই 5 জন নিয়ে ওনার উইন্ডোতে একসাথে থাকবেন। যে কেউ ইচ্ছা করলে কোশ্চেন করতে পারে, মিট করতে পারে। একটা মানে যদি GAABESU নোটিফাই করা থাকে যে এই সানডেতে এনারা থাকবেন প্যানেলে, যে কেউ জয়েন করতে পারে। যারা বিল্ডিং নিয়ে আছে, এখন রিপেয়ার নিয়ে অনেক কাজ হচ্ছে, রিপেয়ার রেট্রোফিট নিয়ে, সেটা নিয়ে অনেক নতুন নতুন জিনিস, তো এটা নিয়ে অনেক আর যদি কলেজ যদি একটা জায়গা থাকে, যদি পুরোনো স্টুডেন্টে গিয়ে কোনো একটা টোকেন লেকচার দিতে চায়, হ্যাঁ, মানে অনেক জায়গায় মানে আমরা যে এক্সপিরিয়েন্স গুলো শেয়ার করার সুযোগ পাই না, তো ওখানে গিয়ে নাম লিখে আসবো, কোনো একটা ডেট দিলেন, গিয়ে আমরা গিয়ে একদিন একটা ইনভাইট করে লেকচার দেওয়াটা একটু বড় ভালো হবে। একটা নলেজ শেয়ার করলাম, হয়তো জানলাম। এরকম একটা যদি কলেজের আমি রিকোয়েস্ট করবো, কলেজে একটা জায়গা থাকবে, আমি কেউ গেলাম, গিয়ে বললাম যে আমি একটা এই বিষয়ে একটা লেকচার দিতে চাই বা আলোচনা করতে চাইছি, তখন আমাকে ডেট টাইম দেওয়া হলো।
শান্তনু, খুব ভালো বলেছো। আমার মনে হয় এটা তুমি একটা মেল করতে পারো GAABESUর এখানে, যে এরকম এরকম কাজ করতে চাও তোমরা, আর আমরা তাহলে সেগুলো শুনতে পারি, মানে সে উইকেন্ড মানে অ্যাসোসিয়েশন সেটাকে করতে পারে। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ শান্তনু। আমরা এবার প্রফেসর অজয় রয়ের একটু কথা শুনে। প্রফেসর রয়, আপনাকে অনুরোধ জানাই, আপনি যদি আমাদের সঙ্গে কিছু আপনার কথা শেয়ার করেন। আমরা কি প্রফেসর রয় কি আছেন? শ্রেয়ান?
বলো অজয়।
তো ওনাকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি না কিন্তু।
হ্যাঁ ওনাকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, রাইট, উনি হয়তো ড্রপ করে গেছেন।
ড্রপ করে গেছেন।
আমরা আমাদের দুর্ভাগ্য, আমরা ওনাকে মিস করলাম। আমরা তাহলে অরূপদার কাছে কিছু কথা শুনি। অরূপদা বলেছেন বলবেন।
অরূপদা বলেছেন।
Greetings to all of you. তোমাদের সকলকে আমি বিশেষ অভিনন্দন জানাচ্ছি। খুব সুন্দর প্রোগ্রাম করেছো। Many thanks to you all, including Anjana. আমার তো ইচ্ছে ছিল অজয় পরে কথা বলা, অজয় সঙ্গেও আমার যথেষ্ট পরিচয় আছে। আমি শুধু একটাই বলছি যে বিমানের কথা ইজ রিংিং ইন মাই হার্ট। বিমান, আশা করি তুমি আছো। আমি তোমার সাথে তোমার সাজেশন নিয়ে কিছু কথা বলার আমার বিশেষ ইচ্ছা রইল। আমরা দীর্ঘভাবে সে আলোচনা করব। তো একটা জিনিস আমি বিশেষ করে বলতে চাই যে আমি তো সারা জীবন ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে ছিলাম, এবং একটা জিনিস আমি খুব ফিল করেছি দেশে যখন গিয়েছিলাম অজয়ের ইনভিটেশনে, যে আমাদের এই শিক্ষা প্রতিষ্ঠানগুলো, সেই আমাদের কলেজই বলো আর জেআইএস বা আদার ইনস্টিটিউট বলো, আমরা সমবেতভাবে একটা স্ট্রং বিটুইন একাডেমিয়া অ্যান্ড ইন্ডাস্ট্রি রিলেশনশিপ গড়ে তোলার আমাদের খুব প্রয়োজন আছে। সেটা আমি এদেশে অনেক বেশি ফিল করেছি, এবং এদেশে সেটা সেই সহযোগিতার জন্য ছাত্রছাত্রীরা gets inspired and express their talents throughout their lifetime. তো সেইটা যাতে আমরা কিছুটা গড়ে তুলতে পারি, সেই প্রচেষ্টাটা করার খুব ইচ্ছে রইল। তাই এই নিয়ে বিমান এবং অজয়ের সঙ্গে আমার কথা বলার ইচ্ছে আছে, দেখি কি করা যায়। তো তোমরা আমার বিশেষ শুভেচ্ছা নিও।
ধন্যবাদ। সত্যি এ নিয়ে কাজ করা খুব দরকার। আর আমরা তাহলে আমাদের অনুষ্ঠানের শেষে চলে এসেছি। মনে হয় প্রফেসর রয় কি এখনো জয়েন করেছেন? আর যদি একটু জানাতে পারো শ্রেয়ান, আমি তো দেখতে পাচ্ছি না।
আমি ওকে দুবার ফোন করলাম, ফোনটা ধরছে না।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা,
আমি দুবার ট্রাই করে দেখলাম, দুবারই ফোনটা রিং করে গেল।
আচ্ছা তাহলে
মনে হয় আমি পরে কথা বলে নেব, মনে হয় ওটা নেই বা করতে পারছে না।
হ্যাঁ সেটাই।
We can go ahead.
So let us end today's evening with the vote of thanks from our secretary of this association, Sri Shitangshu Shekhar Ghosh. He's a mechanical engineer from the batch of 1980. Shitangshu da.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
On behalf of GAABESU, I am thankful to all the viewers of today's 8th Alumni Day celebration, one of the flagship program of GAABESU. Particularly, my sincere thanks to Director, Dean and HOD of IIST for their presence in our today's event. I am also thankful to our panelists comprising of Amitabh De, Shukla Mistri, Shorit Das, and student member Shouvik Sengupta, third year student. And I don't want to tell anything about the Partho, as because I don't want to mention his name. Partho, Indonil, Manoj, Sandip Chatterjee, Amitabh, because they are the part and parcel of today's program. So just giving thanks not befitting for them, as they are also the organizer of this program. I am also thankful to Kosturi for beautiful anchoring, Shopon, Biman, Orunda, Probidda, Ochudda, Orubda, Shamada, Omitabhoda both, Dotto and Ghoshal, Proshenjit, Pratik, they are always backed us for alumni activity. So many thanks is not the correct words for them. I am thankful to the advertiser, donors for the generous help to fight for our battle in this pandemic situation. I would also like to thank our office staff. Moreover, I would like to mention certain things. Today I have got a letter from head of the department, Mechanical Engineering Department, Sudeep Ghosh. He has requested me to inform all of you that 28th of this month, that is day after tomorrow, it is the centenary celebration start for Mechanical Engineering Department of IIST. And he has requested all of us to participate in the program, and first day it will be delivered a lecture by Professor Omitabh Ghosh. And they are having lot of program, so they have requested me, so I am also requesting on their behalf. I will be present, or all you may be present there. Finally, but not the least, I would like to mention the college authority has finally acknowledged our activity for betterment of the institute and benefit for the student community at large, which we are doing, and we have tried to understand everybody that we are doing for the student community and the colleges. That last but not the least, this is my consolation. Like last year, 7th Alumni Day, when I have given the vote of thanks, I have expected that 8th Alumni Day we will meet in person in our college campus. But unfortunately, the pandemic situation is still prevailing, and we have forced to do it in virtual mode. Let us hope for the next year we will meet in person. And what you was telling, that until and unless we see and we hug each other, then this Alumni Day is not be fulfilled. Thank you all. Thank you everybody, those who have participated, those who are panelists, the anchor and everybody. And I am really thankful to everybody to make it a grand success. But I expect it is quite natural. 150 men have already registered and nearly 50%. It is a normal 10 normally present today. Thank you everybody. Thanks to all.